Hey guys, it is episode 129 of 4PlayAnimecast. I'm a little bit low on the energy, but I am still very excited this episode to bring you again this wonderful 4P episode on the 19th of October here on the eastern US coast. And with me are my faithful compatriots, Neer, Dark, Toast. How are you guys all doing?
Bad.
Bad? just dead in the water.
Yeah.
Dark Toast. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing okay, you know.
Oh.
Uh, just
Yeah, just
grinding Grand Blue for
oh yeah, Grand Blue.
ever.
I saw you guys talking about that. But yeah, other than that, just the same stuff. Just pretty
Oh, this is
standard.
weeks right now.
What?
Is this weeks right now?
I'm just like feeling stuff.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just, I'm just. It's like icebreakers, you know what I mean? You sneak up. It's like you slip up to somebody on a bar in a bar, and you're like, "Yo, which anime did you
Wouldn't know
watch the
about
last 2
that.
weeks?"
Yeah,
But yeah, well, speaking of weeks, I guess how are your last 2 weeks?
it's been all right, you know.
Mhm.
Grinding Grand Blue, making huge mistakes in Grand Blue, and then
I saw
making
some
up
of
for
that.
them by grinding more.
The full grind blue experience.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. So pretty standard there. I have actually weaned off Deadest myself, so I am pretty much like mobile games wise, gotcha games wise, I'm pretty much done. I like even in Deadest I already have like a spark ready to go. So fuck this. Fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
See, you can't be done.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
There's never done.
The worst part is the current Deadest meta, like pretty much. So it's like there are like entire like limited like pools of cards where it's like where you could spark, but it's like all of them are worthless right now in the meta. So the only stuff that it's coming out like drip by drip are like the new cards that are meta. But it's like obviously you don't want to spark for them because then you get fucked on the next meta card that comes out. So it's like, well, I have the spark, but it doesn't really mean anything. This number doesn't mean anything to me. So yeah. Anyways, Toast. How's your past 2 weeks?
Spire, I won't be here next week. I'm going to Fright Fest.
Which day? I think every time you mention like I won't be here, you mention days that are not Saturdays.
One Piece. Oh no, my batteries. One Piece Stampede is going to be showing on October 24 to 31, so I won't be there those days.
Okay.
None of those are the days
Also-
that are relevant to the podcast.
Also, next week is Fright Fest, so I want to get in on the spooks before that.
There's not
Yeah,
a
good thing.
podcast next week.
Good thing we're having a podcast every day from the 24th to the 31st. Toast. Sorry, you have to miss all of those. But yeah. Anyways, other than that, what did you actually do these past 2 weeks?
Mikasa's pretty cool, I guess.
Okay. Is there lame?
If I can't have Nagato, because that's unethical. Also, she's my daughter. Mikasa's okay
What?
too.
Lolly, I think. Azura Lane Nagata's a lolly.
Yeah,
Okay.
no thanks.
Literally every single character in Azure is lolly.
Yeah, it's well. The thing is, it's like it's really fucked over. It's like,
Only the destroyers and for somehow the flagships of every nation are lollies.
yeah, I
Yes,
don't.
like
Yeah,
a single
likely
ship in the
story.
game.
Nagato's a
Oh, that's please.
Nagato's a fox lolly. Queen Elizabeth is a little girl.
The
Bismarck doesn't count because she's German.
thing is, we actually talked about this last episode with the whole like Azura Lane versus Conqueror designs, right? Like, I personally don't necessarily super mind like the whole like super disparate like design stuff. Although I do find it weird.
They got
But-
like 30 artists. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, but
Compared to Conqueror is like 5.
yeah, I mean, as I said, I don't mind it necessarily. I just find it kind of weird. Sometimes where it's like there are again all these different designs, but the thing that gets me is just like, and again, this is more a little bit more on this. It's just like why kind of side. It's just like they're just random lollies. It's just like okay, like with Conqueror, like the submarine stuff and like those I can kind of like understand like how the theme goes, but it's like or like the size, right? It's like the like destroyers versus whatever, right? But with Azure Lane, just like you just have random ships that are like lollies, and I'm like, oh, okay, sure.
The only non-lolly flagship nations are Iron Blood, which is the Germans, and Sardinia Empire, which is Italian. Also, I guess the French. They only have like John Bart though. It's like okay. I don't know. Maybe they're saying something about the East versus the West.
Maybe.
Also, speaking of the West, I was looking through the materials one day, and I was all like, I looked up Enterprise, and I'm like, hey, look at all this wholesome Enterprise art. Why is there barely any non-safe for work versions of her? Is it because China and Japan are afraid of America's power?
I'm unsure about that. I'm not.
Speaking of America's power, y'all pay attention to what's happened at Boku no My Hero Academia Season 4 on Twitter.
Didn't it get delayed because of the typhoon or whatever?
No, people don't like the that one girl, and they're saying
I totally know what you're talking about.
they're saying Horikawa doesn't deserve Boku no My Hero Academia and its characters. Who is this? And who is this Horikawa person anyway? That doesn't deserve Boku no My Hero Academia.
Okay. So silly people. Okay. Well, anyways, I guess.
What did I watch?
Yes. What did you actually?
I watched
watch,
like
though?
5 things.
Okay. Would you like to talk about some of the titles?
I watched Underworld.
Okay.
It's pretty cool how Kirito's in a comatose state and in a wheelchair. That was a highlight.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Nanomachine, son. Keep going.
I watched Shokugeki, the inferior non-Chinese or Cantonese dubbed Cooking Master Boy.
Okay. And then
I watched Assassin's Pride.
Oh yeah.
Bokutachi 2. That Chojin
Bokuben?
Tachi say seven ninja
Oh yeah,
kids.
the high school prodigies, right? I think, or no?
Yeah, let's call them that.
Yeah,
You know that one time when they were talking about Duralumin shields? I saw on YouTube what regular arrows did to riot shields. That's impossible. You know, a riot shield does not stop an arrow at all.
Yeah,
Why-
I mean,
why
the
do you
general?
That's why. Why do you think archers do more damage against shielders?
Well, I don't
How
think
How
that's
could
exactly
a
the
riot
reason.
shield stop an arrow?
But the general idea isn't that it's supposed to just bounce off. It'll impact the damage, or it'll disperse the damage.
Spire riot shields are for melee attacks. We need ballistic shields for long range attacks.
Well, I don't think you.
I'm pretty
There-
sure riot shields are for riots.
Yeah. What riots don't involve long range weapons. They involve like sticks and clubs
Riots
and Molotovs.
don't involve weapons usually.
I don't know, man. Have you seen China?
Yeah, that's like improvised weaponry. It's
Exactly.
not like-
That's
they're
what
not. They're not stopping bows and arrows. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's what ballistic shields are for.
That's what they want
Toast.
you to think.
Okay, look. The general idea is that when, like, Japanese writers who do not know a lot about,
How powerful
things.
is Duralumin? Why is it this
don't think
magical
it's-
super
I
metal
don't think it's
of
that
the new
powerful,
of the
to be
new era?
honest. I mean,
It's
I
just
don't think it's that
aluminum.
powerful. I mean, aluminum is pretty powerful, but it's like. Or
I don't
pretty
know,
good.
man. I poke a hole in aluminum foil all the time. It's not as powerful as you
Oh,
think.
well, that's
It's not. Yeah, it's because it's foil.
because
If you made titanium foil, it'd be pretty flimsy.
yeah. But anyways, the thing is.
Duralumin's supposed to be lightweight. That's what you make aircraft carriers from, right?
I don't know.
Well, some of it, yes, but again, the idea, the general idea.
And
is
how come
that-
Akagi and Kaga
Oh
had
my
All right,
God.
made
Who
of
the
wood?
just
fuck
skipping the subject
cares?
down? All right. Okay, we're just moving on.
What else
Okay.
was I watching? What was I talking about? I forgot. Oh, what else did I watch? I watched Make My Ability. What is it? Make My Abilities Average? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
there was Val X Love.
Oh,
And
you actually watched that shit?
hell
Oh my.
yeah! I thought I was gonna. I didn't I say I was gonna cover it?
Yeah, yeah, you did.
I'm going on. And then I watched that what is that Gundam Redivers Plus OVA? What's it called? Dark? I don't remember.
It's not even. I don't even know what it is anymore. It doesn't. It seems like it's going to be a full series, but it's an
What?
O&A technically.
Isn't it Gundam Build Divers Re or something? I don't know.
Gundam. I think it's like Gundam Build Divers Redive or Gundam Build
Yeah.
Redive or some
Is this
shit.
part of the Re series of Re anime?
I
That's
know.
There was
Series.
Recreators and ReZero.
But
Then
anyways,
that's it, I think.
okay. So you'll be telling us about one of those pretty shortly, and Neer,
This season's pretty lit, fam.
Neer, what have you been up to these past 2 weeks here?
I've been playing Shadowverse.
Shadow.
And
You were-
also
near-
playing
near.
Shadowverse.
Near. I'll allow you to cover the Shadowverse anime.
I'm not gonna watch that.
It looks like
You
Cardfight
have to.
Vanguard.
Near, you have to.
It
It's
looks
Cardfight
like
Vanguard.
shit.
Shadowverse
No.
Vanguard.
It's fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns, dude. Like,
No, it's Cardfight Vanguard. Or wait,
Uh-huh.
or do they dive into the virtual Shadowverse?
we don't know. Literally, the only thing that's been shown of the Shadowverse anime is a key visual. And
Yeah,
it looks
again,
like
that
fucking garbage.
it looks like like Cardfight Vanguard. If I
Yeah.
remember correctly. Yeah.
That's definitely not a Yu-Gi-Oh design. That's a Vanguard design. What?
That's a Shadowverse design, is what that is.
Like what class is he playing? What's his leader? I don't
I
know.
mean, he has a giant fucking dragon behind him, so I would assume he's playing Dragoncraft.
Or neutral. I bet
It's
it's
not,
neutral.
it's not a craft.
Neutral, and he just puts
Neutral
up
craft.
bombs every turn.
Yeah, he only plays neutral cards.
He
Yeah.
only plays Bellringer Angel.
He's living in Wonderland Dream.
Yeah, he's just. Anyways, keep going, Neer.
But yeah, I've been climbing Shadowverse ladder super hard and kind
On
of
the
wanting to die. You know,
Are you
Usually.
are you masters?
I'm masters. Yeah, I'm
So
half.
you're
Congrats,
doing GM?
Neer.
You're doing GM
Yeah.
climb?
Yeah, I'm doing the GM climb.
That seems like not a good idea. I've like
It's-
never like even ever since that thing actually came out, I've never been like no. It was
It's
just
a
like
pretty bad idea. I'm 4,300 points away, but it's like.
Neer, I believe in you. Are you
It's
playing
so. I'm playing Dragon.
No, are you playing it right now? Why aren't you playing it right now?
I am playing it right now.
Nice.
eh,
But yeah, I've just been climbing with Dragon, which honestly probably not the best idea because Dragon's like tier 2.
That doesn't
Ish.
matter. Who pays attention to tiers? That's Spire level. You want to be.
right
You
now
just
it's
play
like,
what you
apparently
like.
top tier is like Storm Bishop, Stormhaven.
Yeah, Stormhaven is
Oh, it's
top
Stormhaven.
tier.
Yeah. I heard
It's, like,
that.
it's the best deck. It's the best deck
Yeah.
in both formats, from what
Pretty
I
awesome.
understand.
Well,
and
Stormhaven
then-
has been like unlimited stuff for like quite a
yeah,
while.
but and then it's Roach is back.
It's stuff.
And then I think the Mid Shadow is top tier as well.
Mhm.
But the problem I have, I mean, Mid Shadow is really fun. I was playing it when the expansion first came out, but my problem with it is it's super reliant on drawing Lubel, the one card. That's
Well, yeah, Mid Shadow has always kind of been like that.
Yeah.
Because it's always based around like kind of chipping into like this push at like a
yeah,
certain
this huge momentum
tree.
shift,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like in the mid game, and then you just chip away at them until they're fucking dead. But it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you don't draw that card, it's like, well, you
I
lose.
guess. Yeah, exactly.
So I've been playing Dragoncraft, which is a bit more consistent, although it's got some pretty polarizing matchups. Like, if the Dragon versus Shadow can go pretty badly if you don't like get your ramp going pretty
Mhm.
early on, because otherwise they kind of just they fill up their board, and then you're like, well, I guess I die. But yeah, been going pretty stressful, but
Okay.
other than that, been watching Legends of Runeterra gameplay.
Oh yes, they just came out recently. Yeah.
Yeah, the new League of Legends card game. That game looks really fun.
It looks fun, but it's like I don't think it'll survive in this environment. Like the thing is, it's like sure, like Artifact had its problems, But I think the bigger thing about Artifact was that it showed that like right now it's just the market is too flooded. You know what I mean? It's just taken up by. It's like that that really funny Yogataro video where it's like he showed that graph of like what games were covering the Japanese market, and he's
Yeah.
like Persona is over here and Dragon Quest is over here, and he's like my Neer game is like this tiny dot here. You know,
Yeah.
it's like that, but it's like Hearthstone,
Hearthstone.
Magic, and Shadowverse to an extent. But even Shadowverse,
Yeah,
is
Shadowverse
like
is
pretty
it's a
small.
smaller blip, but
Yeah,
I mean
compared
it's
to something like Magic,
definitely
but it's
still there.
yeah, but the general effect is that those sort of three or maybe like not even four, yeah, those three games are mainly just kind of like smothering the market, right? So
Yeah, though to be fair, I think if you watch Legends of Runeterra, it looks like it's way different, right, from like your standard Hearthstone clone, right? Because the way Runeterra plays, it's like you play your card and so it's like the turn is you draw your card and then you're either attacking or defending in the phase, right? So
Mhm.
you play your cards and they get like benched on the side of the board, right?
So it's like
And
Pokemon.
then
It's like Pokemon card game almost.
yeah, and then when you want to attack, you'll put your benched cards onto the field, and then you'll end your like attacking phase or whatever. And then the opponent then has to start his defending phase where he has to decide whether he wants to put cards in front of your cards to block to prevent phase damage, right?
So
So
it's
it's like
kind of like
That's
it is.
freaking. Is that
It's
Duel
Magic.
Masters?
No, it's like It's like base format Magic, but it's like the benching thing sounds something like it will come from like Pokemon or something like that.
yeah, sort of.
It's like this weird mix.
It's a pretty interesting idea.
Mhm.
It's a lot of cards just interacting with each other, which is pretty
Mhm.
cool. I don't know how the game would really. I don't know. We'll have to see, right?
Mhm.
It's definitely got a lot of money in it going into it. It's got a really nice presentation. Like the game just looks slick, it's super smooth.
Mhm.
But it'll be interesting to see how the game pans out.
Okay.
Other than that, for anime, I've been watching a couple episodes that are out for Beastars. That
How's that
shows
opening though? That's pretty
it-
cool, isn't it?
honestly one of the best openings I've seen in a
I need to
really
actually see it,
really long
like
time.
right after this.
Pretty cool.
Beastars OP is actually stop motion animation,
Oh shit.
which is really cool.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll talk about Beastars in another episode. But other than that, I've been watching. I finally watched the first episode of FGO. It was okay.
Did you like it?
It was
Okay.
okay. I mean,
Is it better than UFO Table?
I don't know. I mean, FGO, it's well animated, right? Like it's solidly animated. There's nothing wrong with its animation. Its style is definitely not what Fate fans are used to, I guess. Like the faces are kind of weird.
Is this the fault of A? Is it A1? No, it's studio.
It is. What studio is it? It's
Cloverworks.
fucking
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
Clover, so?
Any-
I
Oh,
mean,
it's
it's
still part of
probably
Aniplex?
a studio decision, but it's like I don't know. It looks a little weird.
They look a little too close to the original art.
Yeah, like it's like OG Takeuchi art, which is kind of weird to
Kind of
see.
wonky. I mean, Unlimited Blade Works had that, but it also looked better than this.
Yeah.
Wow, Unlimited Blade Works was 2015. This is 2019. Get with the picture.
Yeah, it's got its style. It sticks with it. I mean, it works.
It's fine.
But
You
other than
get
that, I mean,
used to it.
it's straight adaptation, right? For the most part. And I watched what's it? OreSuki, which I'll be covering this episode.
Yes.
Neer.
Yeah.
Whoa, where's Ishtar's bow? All I saw was flying around and hip drop people with her butt.
She
kind of all she
she
does.
flies away on it.
Yeah, she flies around on it, but it's not always out. So
Why is she an archer if she can fly?
Because she
she's a
shoots lasers.
fucking god.
Oh, dude, spoilers.
Wow,
Hey,
yeah.
Ishtar's
Neer-
a god of Babylonian myth? What?
Ne-
What?
Neer, who would win in a fight? Ishtar or Ereshkigal?
Depends where they're fighting.
Let's say London. Because that's where the clock tower is.
I mean, technically, Ereshkigal wouldn't be able to go to London
Why
under
not?
normal circumstances.
Well,
She's locked in the underworld.
So is Skahawk. She's locked in the land of the Shadow Realm, but we got her out.
Shut up.
All right. Anyways, moving on. I guess I'll just do like a quick thing. It's like last.
Spire,
week's
what'd
work.
you do?
All right. Thank you, Toast. But I mean Yoshimitsu. Or sorry, what the hell? I'm like reading this wrong.
Yoshimitsu, is that Soul
Sorry,
Calibur?
I'm like trying to multitask here. I'm like I search because I like I'll tap to something else here for Tekken.
Wow,
But
you're doing
anyways.
something else while in the middle of a podcast?
Sorry, Toast.
Very unprofessional.
But anyways, I did. Now that I talk about Tekken Online, but I did mainly just like play. I actually play more Tekken because like I didn't have. Again, I weaned myself away from Dedeste, which honestly I think is a healthier change. That's the last of my mobile games that I'm gonna play for now. Although some other people were suggesting that I try playing Bang Dream or
Bang.
Bandori.
Don't. That's
Yeah.
Dude,
weird.
play Grand Blue.
Yes, Spire, play
I don't-
Azure Lane.
Yeah. Honestly, if I had gotten at the start of Azure Lane, like I would have seriously thought about playing it. I don't know about now though.
You
But,
should have started on the first anniversary where they gave everyone a free
yeah, that's what I was
anniversary.
thinking. But I didn't buy it at that time because I'm not going to handle more than one gacha game at a time because that's
It's not a gacha game.
Yes, it is.
You can't grind. You can't. It's very not money efficient to buy cubes. You gotta farm for them.
It's still a
I
gacha.
mean, that's not.
You know.
Really the point.
In the current Mikasa event, I spent 160 cubes. That's what, 80 rolls for Mikasa.
Yeah.
I got
You
Mikasa.
you know what you do in gacha games? You roll.
You roll stuff.
Mikasa is a 2% drop. I got 3 of her. And Hiei is a 2.5% drop. I got 0 Hiei, so I have to keep rolling until I get.
in
But I want-
gacha.
But I want Hiei. I got 3 Mikasa. Mikasa's cool and all, but I want Hiei so I can stop.
I like how Toast is like, it's not a gacha, and then he starts talking about like all the cards he rolled. For.
Hiei's a rare. Mikasa's super rare. I just want Hiei so I can stop, so I can get ready for the new ship, the new Iron Blood submarine. I don't want to do 60 runs.
Anyways,
just give me 2%.
I'm pretty much done with my mobile, gacha thing for pretty much indefinitely, unless something maybe on the scale of like a Kirara Fantasia comes out, like in like a proper sense, not like the shit that Dark and I went through, right? But
Yeah, listen, I got my account back. I haven't touched it since, but I feel better knowing that I have it.
yeah. But either way, so that's been better for me. I've been kind of looking over some like rhythm games in phone stuff now, but in general, I've been more relaxing. And I actually checked out a visual novel, like a small visual novel to kind of run through. It was like, what is it, Cat Girl, Dog Girl Cafe or whatever. I think I mentioned it last episode, but I just like ran through it really fast.
Is that Nekopara?
No, it's not Nekopara. It's like different. It's like a random Python.
Cat Girl. Oh, it's actually called Cat Girl and Dog Girl Cafe.
Yes. No, it's not, it's actually not Nekopara though. But
who would win in a fight?
Yeah, them and Nekopara.
Yeah.
them or Nekopara. I want to say Nekopara because Nekopara has more dog girls / cat girls. Or rather, cat girls.
What do they call the Nekoparas? The Partnyas or something? So,
In the English localization, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, it essentially became a pretty like standard like kinetic novel with a couple of just like straightforward H scenes. And I was like, this is whatever. And then it didn't even have like what?
Why do they look sad in their slave clothes in this one CG that I'm looking at, and then they're happy
Gee, I
in
wonder
their
why.
maid clothes?
Gee, I wonder why, Toast. Maybe because they're.
So are they
it's
slaves or are they orphans? We have to differentiate between here.
They are slaves. I don't know about the backstory.
It's not like Necropar where they're in a box and say, "Please take me home."
No,
They're
it's not that.
it's the actual
initial
isekai
story.
trope of
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So this is
But
an isekai.
Yes, it is straightforward isekai. Gets hit by a
Nice.
truck, goes blah blah blah. But anyways, it also that game also pretty much fit my what I call my inverse postulate of visual novel save slots, where it's like the shittier and shorter visual novel is, the more save slots it has.
Classic.
And this one has
99.
this one had like 100 or 130 or something.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. But yeah, for some reason that sort of postulate that I stated happens more often than I care to admit. But either way, I kind of did that. I watched or I kept watching some of the series I have. Again, I watched a little bit of Bokuben. Well,
Who's your favorite?
I don't like any of them.
Which one's
To be
Bokuben?
Bokutachi, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Who would win?
Who would win? I don't think
yeah.
that's a question really.
Yeah.
Relevant.
Who would win? My bet is on Sensei. Isn't she the most popular?
Mafiyu Kurisu?
Or are you the avant-garde who likes the sister of the teacher?
The avant-garde? I don't think that's exactly the right book, but I just like, I'm okay with the teacher, but I'm not like particular.
I think she'll win. I have faith in her. I read that one doujin where it was a harem.
Well, I don't know what's gonna happen, but either way, I pretty much kept on with the stuff I watched before. I do like Hatage, Kimono Michi, Rise of Animal Road, and then this one I kept on this same bestiality theme for some reason, and watched Africa no Salaryman, which again I'm going to talk about pretty soon. So, anyways, that was my 2 weeks, and without further ado,
That's a long
let's-
2 weeks. That
let's go on.
2 weeks
with,
is a long time.
Yeah, let's go on with Toast.
Hello, it's me.
Oh, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, all right. You guys seen that one documentary about the jewel wasp and its reproductive whatever?
Is this like some like planet Earth thing? Like, what are you talking about, Toast?
You know how the jewel wasp lays eggs, right? It finds a cockroach and then eats the cockroach's antenna. Then it lays its eggs in the cockroach, and then like 6 weeks later, a fully grown wasp emerges from the cockroach. Oh, hello, Spire! I found the thing I was talking about earlier when I looked up the anime. Now I'm about to talk about. It's in here. Nice.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna tell you the title of that because I remember what. Oh yeah, I watched Escape from Bug Island, featuring.
It's not.
Yes.
Isn't that even what its actual title is?
Oh, it's a
Island of Giant Insects or something like that.
Kyochuu Rettou.
Yeah, Escape from Bug Island's a different thing. You liar.
Yeah.
That's
like
You baited me into reading this.
That's like a matinee movie, like Saturday matinee movie kind of
Escape
thing.
from Bug Island was that really weird. What is it? Wii
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought not even like a sequel to like
Oh, yeah.
Tanya Shrink the Kids or something like that. It's like
So let me say about this. How much do you guys like your bugs?
Not at all.
You like that
Not at all.
you like I don't know what let's say. You like anime titties? Because
No.
in like the first 5 seconds, the main character is being bullied by the Gyaru and throws her clothes out the window, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm naked." And I'm like, "Where's her hat?"
Why was she naked in the first place?
She's being bullied. They told her to strip, and almost threw her clothes out the window. But then somehow they get stranded on this island. They skip about maybe 5 chapters of the manga. Then it's all like, hey, look at this giant bug. Oh no, this giant bug stung me and took me to a nest. And then hey, look at all those people being eaten alive by bugs. And I'm like, nice. And then
So
there's
this is a February of this year, right? February 2019 OVA.
is it? I thought it was like July. No, I don't know. But yeah,
I
It's-
searched it. Yeah, Kyochuu Rettou is February 2019, I believe.
now you're on a list.
Or no, it's not. The OVA is June 2019.
Now you're on a list, Spire.
Uh,
But yeah,
But,
bugs. It's like House of the Dead. House of the Dead. No, High School of the Dead. Except not without that artist. Bunch of naked girls being eaten alive by maggots. No, nice, I think.
is this like? Does this have like snuff scenes?
Yeah.
Like, or, oh my.
Sure does.
Yeah, it's all. And the main character is the bug girl with the cool hat. She's being bullied because she likes bugs. But then they're all like, "Damn, we're on an island of giant bugs. We better rely on her to survive." And that's it. And then people get eaten by bugs. They're all like, "Hey, we're gonna inject you with this, and we're gonna make you feel kimochi. But don't kill the maggots, because if you kill them all, they can't get their kimochi juice, and then they'll die in agony instead of dying in pleasure as they're eaten." And I'm like, nice. And it's only a one episode. Why isn't it a full series? I don't know.
I wonder.
I wonder. Why wouldn't they make?
Why
this full
don't
series?
people like this bug fetish that I like? But anyway,
Thank
why am
you
I
for
reading it?
telling
I don't know, because I read that one anime and I was like, huh. But it's not like that one good doujin with the moth girl. Because
Okay.
they're just
Oh,
giant
yeah, you're talking
bugs.
about the Yonsei Moth Girl or whatever.
Because
Getting
apparently
the title.
the reason why the bugs are giant is because there's some sort of super virus that acts as, I don't know, like the mitochondria of their cells that allows them to get more oxygen. Because you know why the reason that we don't have giant bugs is, right?
Because their skeletons literally wouldn't be able to hold them up. They would
Eh.
crush. Like it's not a bugs. When you increase the size of an endoskeleton, it's not like it's all relative. Like a much larger endoskeleton or exoskeleton rather would just crush itself under its own weight.
And also because they don't have, let's say, lungs like us cool mans do, humans, mammals. So they insects can't breathe as well as us. But apparently this super virus acts like the mitochondria. So we're all like, okay, we're gonna give you virus lungs so you can grow large. And I'm like, okay. Fire, can you confirm? Are as in, what is it, nature versus nurture kind of guy?
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, you're one of those kind of guys, right?
Yeah, right. It's evolution versus God, right?
What the fuck are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
But yeah,
You don't believe in evolution, right, Spire?
yeah. Because of super virus makes bugs big because they give them lungs. I'm like, all right.
What?
So there's giant. So
Yeah,
far,
that's not how that works.
we
no.
encountered wasps, and she's all like, "Hey, don't use perfume. The wasps will be attracted to perfume." And I'm like, I wish I would have known that when I was being attacked by the hornets near my house.
Were you wearing
Why-
perfume?
Yeah, wait.
No. Oh
Alright.
yeah. Good news about the wasp near my house. They were just eating the flowers. They weren't building a nest, so there was no need for my wasp trap. Now I feel bad. That was a waste of $15.
Well, all right.
So
anyway.
yeah, about Bug Island. You know what? I'm gonna tell everyone to watch it.
Well, thank you for telling
I'm
us
not
about.
gonna do that.
Thank you for
But
telling
Neer,
us about Bug
don't you
Island.
like? Isn't your favorite fate girl Sakura?
No.
No, that's not.
Don't
No,
What? But
Also,
not
those
true
were
at all.
worms, not bugs.
worms are bugs.
Ugh,
Oh my god.
Oh, Neer, don't you like B? No, is it Melt Lilith? Yeah, BB's the other one.
Yeah.
Isn't she a Sakura clone with
I mean,
with bug feet?
not really. No. What?
What's happening right now? All right. Anyways,
Oh yeah. So yeah, what was that? That's that one thing. But the real thing I want to talk about was, damn it.
all right. We're not going to. Okay, look. We talked
Did
about
you
this,
really
right?
want me to talk about Bug? I just wanted to cover Bug Island for like 5 minutes while I segued into my
You
real
covered
thing.
Bug Island for a little bit more than 5 minutes.
'Cause I was looking for
You
my
should've-
picture.
You
There
covered
it
it for
is.
5 minutes, anyways. Why did
I,
you?
I watched Cookie Master
No.
Boy.
Okay, give a brief shout out to Cooking Master Boy, and then we're gonna move on.
Cookie Master Boy is I believe this is somehow a remake and a reimagining of the original Cookie Master Boy anime, because we went from the Cookie Master Boy anime went from Cookie Master Boy, and then it goes into the sequel Shin Cookie Master Boy, which has like the real Shokugeki, if you know what I mean, with the magical mystical Dragon Ball Chinese cooking tools that somehow grant life, like revive you and
Yeah,
stuff.
well, it's all hoodoo and hand waving. So
This is the real Shokugeki, none of that nonsense about God tongue and non-science. But yeah, this is I don't I want to say this is a good starting point for for Cookie Master Boy, but I don't know because it skips around a bit. This is called Shin Cookie Master Boy because it takes place after this giant cooking arc where he becomes the youngest Grand Supreme Chef in all of China, and then he just goes traveling around and stuff. I don't know. It's alright, but one gripe that I have is I watched all of Cookie Master Boy in Chinese. It's kind of weird hearing it in Japanese. Reminds me of Yakitate, Japan. But I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Because when I watch cooking movies, I watch them in Cantonese.
Oh, okay.
Like the good movies. Like what is it? God of Cookery? Yeah, that the movie's neat. And what's that one movie with Jackie Chan and the food truck? Meals on Wheels? Yeah, I also watch that in Chinese. Why are all the good cooking all the good cooking series coming out in China? And
What
not
do you mean by all the good cooking series?
Dark, what's that one series that you forgot to watch?
oh,
It's also cooking.
Food Goddess.
Yeah, that's also good.
It is actually quite.
Well, I mean, it's just
I
like
don't
the
think
Chinese.
many other countries make cooking series.
Japan. Hell's Kitchen.
Duh.
I mean, it's just easy to. It's just easy to set like for or at least for like stuff like anime or like sort of like more dramatic stuff. It's more easy to create series based around Chinese dishes because of its history and because there are so many variations of like sort of flashy sort of dishes, especially, right? So I guess it just lends itself to that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Cookie
it's
Master Boy is one of the old timey shonen cooking mangas of its generation.
yeah, it's pretty old.
I like
but,
it.
definitely a
lot.
classic.
It's like, Shokugeki has that one hentai artist to back his stuff, right? And I'm like,
Shin?
that's not. Is it?
Shun is, I believe, the yeah, or Tosh.
My
is, I
favorite Tosh one is his Seto no Hanayome ones. Those are nice.
believe. But
But
anyways,
yeah, this one I really like it.
would you recommend it to people who
yes.
are like, I want to get into Cooking Boy or Cooking
What?
Master Boy?
If you like Shokugeki, you'll like this. But I would say maybe wait for the Chinese dub if they ever do, or just watch the original series in Chinese.
You suggest they watch the Chinese dub with like English sub or something?
Yeah,
like that?
because I don't know, it just feels more authentic.
Okay. I can understand like those sentiments for sure though. But yeah, okay. So, but like watching the series like in general
Yeah, it's
would
great.
be pretty good for
Don't you wanna know about the galaxy? What is it? The galaxy. No, not Mabuto. Spy. What's that one thing? In Filipino, it's called Chupao, but it's
Um,
a thing. It's a giant dumpling.
Dumplings?
Baozi or
Yeah, Bao Z. That's right.
okay, yeah, Baozi, yeah.
What the heck is that?
That's how you.
What? Is that the Korean way to pronounce it?
No.
This is why I
Yeah,
call it Chupao instead of Bao Z. Yeah, you want to know about the Galaxy Bao Z there where you place the whole cow in? That was a good episode.
Okay.
What are we talking about?
But anyways,
I like
I guess-
cooking. Chinese cooking series. This is great. Watch it.
All right. Well, thanks you.
I'm
Thank
done.
you, Toast. Okay, finally. Thank you, Toast, for.
Do you
helping
think
cover-
giant bugs would appreciate Chinese cooking?
All right, we're moving on, Toast. So thank you for covering or Shin Cooking Master Boy, rather. Again, the not even a remake or a reboot, but it's just like it's an actual sequel.
It's a sequel, but not because it's thrust right into like the second.
Yeah,
actual
it's
second
like kind
sequel.
of spaced out in a sense.
It's like
Like,
what?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. Thank you for covering that. I know it's a big franchise, or big brand name, so we did need to cover it sometime.
Where's
But,
my 3x3 eyes anime that I was promised?
anyways, Dark. I believe you're up next. What do you have for us today?
Speaking of cooking, Dark, what level is your cooking?
In what?
In the thing you're about to talk about.
PSO2? There is no cooking.
Yeah, there is.
There's no cooking levels, though, is there?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, shit. Well, then you can assume 0. Did not know that there was. But anyway, I'm covering Phantasy Star Online 2, episode Oracle. So this is different from the other PSO2 anime, because the other PSO2 anime was kind of a lead-in to the episode 4 arc of the game. And
I still
this
liked
is
it.
covering episodes 1 through 3. And in fact, I liked it too. I would go so far as to say episode 4 is one of the better episodes. I think 1 through 3, not to get too much of a tangent, but 1 through 3 in PSO2 is very good, but I think they're very good in an entire package. I think they're pretty terrible. Not pretty terrible, but they're not very, like, complete if you view them
one by one.
Singular. Yeah, like if I was playing the game before episode 3 came out, I really would have been
They're
like
pretty
this.
generic and boring.
Yeah, I would have been like, this is like, you know, pretty fucking whack. Like, not much happens in each episode. But yeah, so this new anime is covering episodes 1 through 3, which is an arc primarily focused on darkers, which are just like dark magic, like evil bug creatures.
But dark.
And then
What? I get it. Bugs. Nice. But
Yeah.
dark. What darkers? All I know is this other term that they've been used for some reason.
foul spawn. Yeah. So another thing about this anime is that it uses a really fucked up, awful translation of everything in it. So darkers are for some reason called fall spawn, and what was it? What are they calling F factor?
Yeah, the darker factor, which is DF for short, is now FF, the Final Fantasy, which is also
it's
false factor. You can't do that.
Yeah, it's very bizarre as to why they decided to change that. I think maybe it's like a race thing, but that's the only thing that I can think of. But yeah, so aside from the whack ass translation, I watched, want to say 2 or 3 episodes, can't remember.
Dark. Who would win in a fight? The false spawn or Clendathu?
Who?
You don't know what Clendathu is?
No, I don't remember.
You never. You don't. You have not. Yeah. The bug
What?
planet.
In what?
In Starship Troopers? You've never seen Starship Troopers?
Oh no, I've not. As a matter of fact.
Isn't it basically the fight on Clondatu?
Oh, the fight on Tiberius in the beginning?
Kinda.
Maybe. But yeah, so PSO2 opens up, it's got the main guy, Ash, who's the main character. He's a very odd fellow because he's kind of like, he seems like he's edgy and brooding, but he's not. He's just like,
He's an amnesiac
there?
orphan.
Yeah, and he's just like kind of there. I think mostly the problem is that he's being voiced by fuck, I actually don't even know who it is because they don't have anyone listed on Mall. So I don't remember who he's being voiced
Go to
by.
ANN. Give me a
But
second.
yeah, his voice actor has very like distinct voice that let's see. Who's Ash? Ash. What the hell?
Episode Oracle, right? I think. you
Yeah.
said?
Oh, this is the wrong one, that's why.
I
Damn
can't
it.
read this. Spire, you can read this here. Who's this guy? I'll hit you up with this. There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm not actually seeing a
I can't read this
listing
name, Spire.
on ANN either
Who's
now,
this?
so I'm kind of like shit out of luck. Oh, it's Japanese.
Yeah, I can't read this.
Yeah, anyway, so I'll just move on for now until we realize who he is.
Daisuke
but
Ono.
You said
All right,
Shimono
there you go.
Hiro? Oh wait, or Daisuke? Okay.
I think Daisuke Ono's ringing more of a bell because I did
Yeah.
find his name somewhere at one
Yeah,
point.
it's Daisuke Ono.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, so the way he's like delivering his lines is like it's really weird. Like he's not doing much emotion, and when he does, it's like not like it's weird because it's like he's not trying to be a hero, but he's also like not trying to be an asshole. But it's just like it's very bizarre.
Get bizarre because he also voices Jotaro. Ah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's very interesting.
small tidbit.
What they've decided to do.
Small
with
tidbit.
it?
Ash is also the name of that orange Humar from PSO1.
Oh, you think that's why they named it?
Probably. You played
I guess
PSO1,
that
right?
makes-
Because
No.
the original orange Humar
PSO1
guy
was only on,
is
like,
also Ash.
fucking-
Ash Kanan.
Oh, okay. So that's probably why they did that. But yeah, so it's not that great. I'll throw that out there.
It's definitely for people who like PSO2.
It's for that's the thing. It's for people who like PSO2, but they fucked up because while it's gonna be fun seeing fights like Persona and Loser and watching like Get 'em Heart, spoiler alert, turn into Darkfall's Elder and shit like that. Like that stuff's gonna be really cool. But the problem that they have right now is that there's a massive disconnect between PSO2 as a game and PSO2's story in episode 1 through 3.
Yeah,
PSO2's story in episode 1 through 3 it's serious, but it's not like that. It's serious in the sense that it's serious for like a
JRPG
JRPG.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So-
I got you.
You also have like really goofy, wacky characters, and since it's an MMO, you have like really like goofy shit going on like consistently. But what they did here is that they didn't adapt any sort of MMO aspect to it or any of like the game aspects really.
Mhm.
All they really adapted was like the story
Yeah.
and the universe. So you have things like in episode 1, they get attacked by Darkers and ambushed, and their squad gets wiped out. But for some reason, the studio decided it was a really good idea to just show full on decapitation and blood. And it's like, that's not. It just looks fucked up.
There's a disconnect between that
Yeah.
and the game. It's like,
Yeah,
why didn't they explode into photons instead? No, we're gonna give you
Well,
blood.
honestly what I thought was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because in general, in PSO2's universe, it's like kind of what's supposed to happen. Really, like people bleeding isn't really a thing all that much. It happens,
It's not
but
supposed
it's
to be
not
like
like.
gory. It's not supposed to be gory.
Well, yeah, like PSO2 is not gory because I think it's also like if you destroy your body, you're supposed to disperse into photons because
Yeah.
that's also why you're even able to become Dark Falls to begin with, because all your photons get corrupted and it twists your like entire body's like atoms essentially.
Mhm.
So that was like really weird. Like I don't have a problem with gore in a series or in an anime at all. It's just that like seeing it in a series that doesn't have any and also like doesn't isn't very violent in that sense. It was really strange. Uh I'd rather they didn't have that, to be honest. It's just like like the squad gets wiped out, people get decapitated, and then in episode 2, someone gets like fucking assassinated and they see their like bloody body on the ground. And, like their eyes are like all wide and shit. But then you have characters like Patty and T who are just
Yeah,
like
Patty and Taya.
the weird goofy characters that show up and they like make funny jokes and stuff and then like walk away and gather information and shit. And it's just really not something you expect to see because like I said, it's serious in the JRPG tone.
Mhm.
So it's not like that serious, but when you start adding in shit like full on dismemberment, just like this weird, slightly desaturated palette in a way, uh, things just like don't really add up.
In comparison, PSO2, the animation, which would actually be canon to this series, does not have this sort of violence and gore to it. Which is
Yeah, PSO2 the animation I was gonna say as well. I think is more. I mean, it's more faithful to the game itself, but I think it's just also more of a PSO2 like series, whereas like this one is obviously it's a PSO2 series, but like I said, it has really nothing to do with the game itself, and it's just like here's
yeah, it's
the
more
story.
it's more standard Japanese fantasy space anime instead
Yeah,
of being a PSO2 anime.
Right.
yeah. Honestly, I feel like someone who who has never played PSO2 would probably like have a better time of it, just because they're not.
They're not overwhelmed by this sort of like dissonance from what they know previously about PSO2 is what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's like, why didn't they use monomates? Why'd they die in one shot?
yeah,
Right,
it's like you got killed by that, like that's another thing too, is like they get killed by enemies that aren't nearly that big. Like in the show for some reason too. They also made everything bigger, which
Yeah,
was
the Dark
very
Falls are
strange.
fucking huge.
They're like at least 5 to 10 times larger than they are in the game.
right.
So that was really strange to see as well. I think overall the audio visuals are okay.
It's Gonzo, apparently.
What else have they done?
Oh,
I don't
guns.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the audio visuals are fine. Um hearing like
How do you feel about the characterizations of your favorite guys?
Affin is fine. Matoi is whatever right now.
Matoi is the waifu of episodes 1 through 3 before Kuna shows up. Then that's when you
Yeah,
start
well,
getting the
Kuna's
war.
about to fucking show up in like
Yeah.
episode 3.
Kuna's
so,
my favorite.
'cause
She's
she already
cool.
fucking killed someone. Like, they're like, oh, this person was assassinated. I was like, well, I know who did that. The assassin. But yeah, that's honestly one of the major reasons why I'm even watching the series. To be perfectly honest with you, I just want to see Kuna do cool shit.
They better do They better
That's
do.
another thing too with the disconnect, because like they can't have Kuna without having, oh, she's an assassin, but also she's an idol.
Yeah, we better see the idol stuff, or else people will riot.
Yeah, like I mean that's her whole thing, is that she has like a weird dual personality thing where fucking hair color changes. But yeah, so it's gonna be very strange seeing some of these things. I'm very interested in to see like how they
Yeah.
do it, like how they tell it. So like that's definitely gonna keep me watching it.
How
But yeah, I do.
is it going to be Ash by himself versus Dark Falls Elder? Oh boy.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I don't know how they're gonna do the fights, because
The
the fights are
actual
MMO
giant raid
fights.
fights, yeah.
Yeah, how like if you're making the single insects like fucking huge, Dark Falls Elder is already the size of like a ship, so good
Yeah,
luck,
like
I guess, because then Profound Darkness is even fucking larger, and
the size of a black
it's
hole.
yeah, so it's just gonna keep getting more and more like
Ridiculous.
kind of fucked up and not
Because
like close to
you
the
see
game.
Elder
So.
escape the planet, and it's all like, oh, we gotta fight this?
Yeah, it's just he's fucking huge. Just like most of the enemies are huge. I can't remember, is Apprentice episode 3 as well, where you fight like True Apprentice, or it's the
No.
big bug?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
like
was gonna say 'cause
5, 3? No.
that was 3. I think it was 3, but I can't remember if it was like post story
Yeah.
shit or something. So they might not have stuff like
So
that.
so out of all
Also, how far they get is going to be interesting, because episodes 1 through 3, while it doesn't have a whole lot, it does like episode 3 kind of really picks up and has a lot in it, and they have to get through Profound Darkness, or Persona doesn't even fucking make sense.
was Profound Darkness really episode 3? I thought it ended with Sharonia. Oh god damn.
No,
that-
yeah, that's another thing too. Like you gotta get through
Oh, man, that's
Sharonia, you
huge.
gotta get through Kuna, you gotta get through all the Dark Falls. Like
Well, what's the sort of planned like timeline for this? Is it 24 episodes?
I would assume it is,
It better
or
be.
Is it
They're
too long?
going-
Is it-
25.
Huh?
It's 25 episodes.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fine.
okay.
Okay, that's fine.
yeah, they can get through it, but it's still gonna be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, while there wasn't a whole lot of like story, like huge amounts of story in episodes 1 through 3, there was a lot that happened, if that makes sense. Just game wise, you go to a lot of
This
different
is
places,
about,
and then stories happen, so it's gonna
ha-
feel a lot
This is
faster.
about 3 years worth of MMO material to go by, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So story wise, it's like kind of whatever, but it's gonna
This is-
having it all like happen like this is gonna feel
This is the first
very
like
breakneck.
super big arc of PSO2.
yeah. So
But
it's gonna be cool.
So let's compare.
I know I opened by saying it was like kind of bad, but it's not. It's not. It's just like that weird disconnect in it keeps coming back, and it just feels odd. But it's
Right,
not
right, right.
like bad. I think it's gonna be a pretty decent story. The main characters, at least for now, is like kind of weird, but they
So,
might
you-
lighten up once Matoi starts coming into play more, just because there was a lot of pretty good dialogue in the game between your character and Matoi. So
Okay.
So let's compare it to the other two PSO2 series. PSO2
what were the others?
PSO2
There's
the
the
animation and Pusoni Komi.
Oh, okay.
Which
yeah,
which is the better one?
I would say like I said, it's hard to tell. If you're going into a show, if you're going into a PSO2 series for PSO2, I would say PSO2 the animation and Puso Komi are definitely better for that.
Okay.
Primarily because it's like you're going into those very specifically for the game in that sense, and those will fill that. Like Pusoni Komi especially.
Explain what Pusoni Komi is for those who don't know. For some reason,
It's like a little 3-minute short, right? 3 or 4-minute
Yeah.
short that's like almost like weird cutout character things, like a pretty like
it's a
decent
4
looking
Komi.
style. Yeah. It's a pretty fun animated style, and it just has different characters like in the game, essentially, like players going like talking to each other through their characters and doing stuff in the game. But it is it's very faithful to what like actually happens in the game. I'm pretty sure at some point they do make a reference to Ship 2 as well, which is pretty funny, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken,
when they
because they
went to
talk about how
the Arcs was it the Arcs Festival?
I don't remember. It was something about like foreign, like I
Oh
think
yeah.
one of them mentions being in a ship with like people and they didn't understand what they were saying and stuff like that, and everyone was like, "Oh, well, that's Ship 2 then, because that's where all the fucking foreigners are." So
So there,
that kind of stuff is in that, and then in PSO2 the animation, it's more of like there's game stuff in there, there's PSO2 stuff in there, there's slight PSO2 story in there, there's NPCs in there since they're playing the game, and
explain
then it
explain
also
episode 4
leads
real quick.
into episode 4. Episode 4 is basically reverse isekai, so that's like how the anime ties into it, where you have like the game bleeding into Earth and
Real
vice
Earth.
versa. Yeah, and real Earth, and you have to like kill a real god. But
That
then
was
like
that
you
was
don't
that
kill
was
him,
great.
you just like beat him into submission, and he's like, "All right, well I guess I won't destroy the universe."
You like
That's
Shin
episode 4.
Megami Tensei and Dot Hack? Well, that's episode 4.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's definitely filling. It's definitely filling a lot of different. A lot of different like wants, I guess. I suppose I also shouldn't really shit too much on the new one, just because it's like it definitely fills uh a different role than the others. So
Right. Okay.
just kind of depends from now how like the pacing goes and stuff like that.
Hey, Dark, do you like how they changed Zeno's weapon?
Oh yeah, why is he using a gun slash?
Because that's his true weapon. Remember, Dark. He's a hunter, but his photons are more attuned to the Ranger class, so he's got to have
Oh
the
yeah.
hybrid weapon. Unlike us, who have perfect photons,
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
and we don't suffer from it.
We're very cool like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be neat to see that stuff. There
Uh,
are a lot of cool characters in episodes 1 through 3. So
okay. So
Dark
just
Dark, who would win in a fight, Kuna or Matoi? My bet's on Kuna.
Kuna
Yeah.
would fucking kill Matoi in 2 seconds, dude. No contest.
so just I guess wrapping up, if there was a person that came to you and he was maybe interested in seeing, his to episode Oracle, right? But he's heard of the initial.
Alright, let me change up. Spire, he's
What?
one of the people who saw PSO2 is going to get localized on the Microsoft stream. They're all like, "Oh, there's an anime. Let me watch it."
Right. So he's heard like that. So he's not like obviously into PSO2, but he's seen that stuff. He's heard of the initial anime, for instance, but he hasn't watched it. And he might have heard of the PSO2, the Kusuni Komi, right? But again, he hasn't watched it.
What kind of
What would you recommend?
avant-garde would watch Pusoni
What I
Kami?
recommend?
What
I
would you recommend? Would you recommend he watch this? Would you recommend he?
I
go
would
back?
recommend you watch all of them. For
Uh,
one.
You want to suggest order? Just quick order.
Yeah, and order would definitely be. Well, it depends. I would then ask, like, what do you want out of it first? Do you want the story of episode 1 through 3 before caring about anything with the game? Because
Right.
you can learn a lot more about the game if you watch 4 first, and then what's it called? The first anime, and then Pusoni Komi.
Right.
You'll learn a lot more about the game, and it also kind of depends on what you would want to be viewing episodes 1 through 3 as, right?
Mm-hmm.
Episodes 1 through 3, like for this new anime, I'm in the position since I played through it on my character, like I'm not really attached to the story of the characters that much, right? Like I see Affin and I'm like, oh yeah, you're that asshole who doesn't shut up when I go in the lobby.
Aibo.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, he just keeps calling you Aibo all fucking day. The second you get within like 10 like feet of him in the lobby.
Doshita Aibo all day, every day.
Yeah. So so it's like what do you want out of it in that sense? If you want to be more attached to like the characters and story first, you might want to watch episodes 1 through 3 first.
Right.
With this anime, and then go on to the other two. If
Mhm.
not, then you want to watch the other two first and then move on to this.
Mhm.
Of course, there's the alternative of if you don't want to watch something that you're going to be playing through in the game, you don't watch this one, and then you may, or not even may, you should definitely still watch the original anime just because it ties in quite a bit
Right.
And
with
if
episode 4, and it's not like a retelling of episode 4.
it's a prequel plus events. It's a prequel leading into the events that happen into it, because the main character of episode 4 does appear in the anime, but she's not like her story's done basically by the time the anime airs.
Okay.
So it's yeah.
Okay.
But if you're super hardcore, you just watch Persona Kami and be like, yeah, I know what this is about.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
but,
13 rarity weapon. I wish I had one too.
Not anymore. Now it's all about 50.
Anyways, thank you, Dark, for helping cover PSO2 episode Oracle, I believe it is called. And again, if you are interested again in sort of getting into the PSO2 anime, please try what Dark recommended. Again, checking out the other sort of anime in the general franchise universe as well. And with that, we are moving on to it's me. And
Spire, what are you talking about?
And again, as I said, I'm going to extend this interesting bestiality theme we've seen this season with Africa no Salaryman, or Africa office worker, or Africa Salaryman is the localized title. And it is a series by Hatsupang. Zipang is sort of like an old name for Japan.
That's Zipang, Zipangu. I read about that in a what is it? What is it? Monster Hero World.
It's
Monster
it's
Girl
available
Quest.
in like a lot of it's available in a lot of different media, but it's like a very sort of I think they were originally like a general sort of design sort of studio. They weren't even like an anime studio, and then they kind of expanded into like stuff like VR and anime very, very recently.
VR,
so this is actually their first anime series. But for some reason, they apparently have a lot of fucking money because they got a whole bunch of pretty big voice actors. So Akio Otsuka.
That's Solid Snake.
Yeah, Solid Snake, Rider, Infate, stuff like that. Hiroshimono, Eugene Bakuto Test, most famous for doing that. Kenjiro Tsuda, I don't think I need to. Kenjiro Tsuda.
Who's that guy?
It's Yu-Gi-Oh! It's Seto Kaiba, right?
Oh, that's him? Oh, that's
yeah,
I was thinking of Vegeta's voice actor.
But Kenjiro Tsuda is the Japanese Seto Kaiba. Eri Kitamura, Hiroshi Kamiya, very, very big list goes on. But
wait, who's Eri Kitamura voice acting?
A lot. Oh wait, in this so Shishimura, I forget.
What?
But yeah. So it is. They did pull out a whole bunch of money from nowhere, and they're putting it into this. The series essentially is a very episodic series. Sort of a dry sort of comedy detailing the everyday lives of office workers who are also animals. So this is literally just like what you would see in like I guess one of the more recent things would be like
Zootopia? Oh.
No, in anime form.
Zootopia was a movie.
Can I finish? So it would be like working or servant service, right? Servant service would be one. Maybe something like Shirokuma Cafe, stuff like that, where it's just going through sort of the daily lives of things and just kind of linking it, but it also has animals in it. Something that might be close to, in a Western sense, would be something like a Dilbert, right?
How many? Is it just Office? Is it like The Office, American version, but with animals? What makes this show so special? Do they show animalistic traits?
So it is interesting. So for the most part, like 80-90% of it is very, very straight, like sort of office style humor, right? Like daily lives, like, oh, I have to do this, and then like, oh, did you send this? No, please don't kill me, stuff like that. You know, like again, if you for Western audiences, if you've read Dilbert, stuff like like office humor comic, then you kind of know what to expect. It's like that.
It's for boomers, bro.
Yeah,
People.
where's Asian Jim? I like that. That's my favorite Office skit
But
because I'm Asian.
there is like 10% of it or so. It does have sort of the like the animal like thing where it's like sometimes the way they conclude a skit or sometimes the way they start up a skit is by kind of referring to an animal's trait, right? So it's like gorillas looking kind of like ugly or like lizard pulling its tail off or whatever it is, right? So it kind of refers to that. But for most part, it plays a very, very straight, like almost as if they're pretty much straight humans.
So
Is it
there's no
Shirobako?
animal puns.
Is it Shirobako with animals? It's a little bit more like episodic comedics. Actually, no, it doesn't. It doesn't have that many like puns and stuff like that. It's like again, it's very, very like as I said, 89% of it is like straight like office humor kind of stuff, and then like the 10% of it is like to enter or exit a skit. They're like, oh, by the way, since we're animals, we can do this. If that makes sense. Again, one example, spoiler alert, is like to escape some sort of like there these two main characters are accused of being molested, right? So Hiro Shimono plays Shimono Hiro plays a toucan office worker, and Tsuda Kenjiro plays a lizard office worker, right? And the lizard, they're both being accused like molesting on the train, right? Molesting JKs on the train.
What kind of
So
JKs? If it's lizards, is it the same?
it was like a gorilla and a female lion.
What? A lizard
But
molesting a gorilla? That's hilarious.
but to escape, the toucan cuts off the lizard's tail. Blood splatters everywhere, and then in the chaos they like escape. So it's like they make use of the animal traits for a small bit, but the most part is like very straight. Is this Japanese? I haven't seen that.
I don't watch BoJack.
So what I do want to say about it, so it's again very episodic. If you're into that sort of humor, into that sort of pace where it's like very sort of Dilbertish, servant, it's like talking about work, but it's kind of like fun to kind of like watch in a sense. It's like if you like that sort of humor, then you'll get into it. But going over to audio visuals, audio stuff is like pretty standard. I haven't heard anything that's like really out of line. What is it? Aki Otsuka and Shimono Hiro are both singing the OP and ED. So that's
Is Aki Otsuka a snake or a lizard?
No, he's the lion. He's the lion.
Damn
he's
it.
the lion like manager.
You messed it up. You almost had it.
But the visuals are actually something I would like to call. Neer, have you seen any of this?
I saw the PV. It was like a from what I saw, it's like a weird mix of CG and 2D.
Yeah. So that's actually what I want to talk about. So it's like, so this is like, for me, it's a very like interesting experience. Honestly, if it had, well, I'll get to it at the end. But it's like, so as Neer said, it's like a very interesting mix. So at the beginning, it shows its first style. So one of its styles is like this like Paper Mario kind of thing, where it's like the front sort of layer, the characters in focus have these like sort of like like not a lot of frames like on purpose, right? And they're sort of like have jagged lines, and it's clear that their layer is in front, again like a Paper Mario kind of thing, while the background is like sort of plain whatever, like blended CGI, blah blah blah, 2D or whatever it is, right? So it's like that, and then the second style is pretty much like straight like 2D animation, right? But it's very like again, it's very sort of like lower frame, like sort of those I want to say, how it's like a lot of like art festival like short films have those like sort of like kind of like drawing styles, right? The lower frame sort of like almost pastel like sort of animation kind of thing. It's like that, which is like fine. It's I'm not necessarily going to be like, oh, we should have it everywhere, but it's like a drawing style that they purposely chose for that, right? So it's that. And then they bring in the 3D technology, which is still awkward. It's not as awkward as it is in something like Berserk or in anything else, where it's like they're trying to mimic human being stuff like that. And even if it's an anime, people, it's still not good. But since it's like pretty much like wacky animals, right? It's like like animal office workers. So it's like almost acceptable because it's already like out of whack. You know what I mean? Out of left field. Um, so it almost works. It doesn't quite work, but it almost works. So those are like 3 styles, and they keep doing that in rotation. Like it doesn't really have a rhyme or reason. I don't know if it's like a budget thing or if there's a specific style thing, whatever it is. But it's like some parts are like just straight up 2D. Some parts have that Paper Mario style. Some parts have the 3D CG, and it's
This
a
is
very like
full,
even
right?
mixture. Yeah, it's a full thing, and it's a very like it's actually a pretty even mixture of both. They just keep rotating in turns. I don't actually know what's going on.
Is it like how is it set up? Is it like skits or
There are
is it like
it's
a
like
like an
it's a
overarching
yeah,
plot?
it's general like longer, medium length skits. So there will be it like continues on like there's still like a continuous timeline, like a day, like something happens in the day, and then it continues into the evening, stuff like that, right? Like the characters, cast continues their timeline, but there are specific like skits. So throughout the day, so there'll be like 3 or 4 skits that represent what's happening on through that day, or maybe like a couple of days, if that makes sense. So slightly like something like Nichijou, but a little bit more continuous in terms of timeline. But again, it's not like Suki ga Kirei, for example. We talked about this where it's like in the front everything's all 2D and nice, but then as soon as they like hit a certain distance, it becomes like 3D, right? It's like weird. It's like you knew like they did that because they were getting it up, right? But this one is like very weird because they're all mixing things together. And in the middle of that, they also have a very sort of pretty like I want to say artsy kind of thing going on, where it's like they try to do a whole bunch of sort of interesting like visual effects to kind of deliver on whatever speech or whatever sort of effect the character is doing. So it's like they'll often make very like caricature poses or like zoom ins or like speed stripes or like they'll have something like if it's like for example there's this one where it's like this guy doesn't like to molest schoolgirls because he's only interested in milfs or whatever, right? And it's like suddenly the black text like appears like character by character on the screen like dun, 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 dun,
Hold
dun,
on.
dun, 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 dun.
Who's the MILF?
No, he's saying like so essentially Kenjiro Suda as a lizard office worker was trying to defend the toucan office worker from the molesting on the train thing, isn't it, right? Because he said because the schoolgirls on the train were accusing both of them of molesting.
What kind of schoolgirls?
We talked about this, Toast.
The
Oh my God.
gorillas?
Yes, the gorilla and the lion. So so they're like doing the fighting, and
Spire, you have to tell us what animals the everyone is because it makes it's more interesting
Literally
this way.
went over this.
yes.
And you
Okay,
said MILFs. What species?
No, he said, and the way the lizard office worker defends the toucan office worker is by saying he couldn't have molested the JKs, the schoolgirls, because he's only into MILFs. That's
So they
the-
didn't tell you what
yeah.
kind? That's a
It
wasted
Toast,
joke.
doesn't matter. Okay, so let me.
It's a
let me
wasted joke, Spire.
Toast, can you please? So it's so when he's explaining that, the text appears on the screen. It's like dun 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 dun, dun, and it's like it has all these like sort of crazier visual effects. And I actually really like that because again, it kind of reminds me of something like a mixture of something like Shaft or like Silverlink would do with Bakuto Test, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it has all these things, and they're trying a lot of things out, which like uh, it gave me a feeling similar to maybe what you might have thought of, with Hoseki no Kuni, but it's not sort of like a thing. It's more like a rejuvenation thing where it's like for the first time in a long while, I'm just like interested in watching what the anime delivers to me, right? It's
Right.
like I'm interested in like seeing what this anime is doing, kind of listening to it, watching it, more than just this is the story, these are the jokes, this is funny kind of thing. So it
Yeah.
was pretty
It's
interesting.
visually rejuvenating.
Yeah, it's like fountain of anime kind of thing.
Yeah.
But but again, the thing that I will point out is that the 3D is still not there yet, which isn't again. It's something to be expected at this current stage of where the anime industry is, but it's still not a defense of this series. I feel like if they had either just stuck with one of the two styles, like the Paper Mario style, maybe could have been done a little bit more with CG, and then mixed that with the 2D animation, and then just push that, or somehow made the 3D stuff a lot more sort of like background based. I would have been like, this would have been on the fast track to one of like the end of the year awards for me. Like, not even kidding. As it is, it's like I'm still like considering it. It's just like it's a really like fun series to mess around with. But that's sort of how I feel about the series, both visually and just story. I mean, story wise, again, it's like the office humor. I've liked it, but I feel like as an anime, it does bring something that's like not necessarily new, but as Neer and I keep saying, rejuvenating. So that's sort of how I feel about it. Do you guys have any questions about the series? I know Neer said you watched the PV or something. Do you have
Yeah.
anything you want to ask?
I mean, I was gonna ask you, how prone it is to like visual gags, but I think you went over that already. So
Yeah. It's so it'll do a lot of that sort of like again like Bakuto test like Shaftish kind of thing where it has sort of like the visual effects kind of randomly popping up and like the text involved in it, so on and so forth, right? Um, so yeah, I do think it's an interesting start. It's a very surprising thing coming from a studio that nobody has ever heard of, and this is pretty much their first project and probably their first foray into anime in the first place, right?
yeah,
So I'm looking forward to it again. Pretty nice first start. The 3D wasn't quite there again, but it is what it is. And if you do like something like a Dilbert humor, like a servant service humor, like Shirokuma Cafe, kind of just doing daily stuff, but they're animals, please check this out.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe it's because it doesn't. I really want all in on this kind of stuff. It doesn't seem like it's very interesting to me.
In what way? I mean,
If you're gonna just say, hey, we got office here. We're both animals. You better be going all in on the animals because
I don't think
what's the
you
point?
do.
What's the
I mean,
point of that?
that's why I said if you like the office humor sort of thing, it's not. I didn't say it was for everyone, but if you do like the office
Yeah,
humor sort of kind of stuff,
I don't know. Maybe it's because there's another series in the same time frame that goes all in on the animal nature of it.
yeah, that's not. It's not a
well,
comedy though.
yeah.
I mean, I like it better because if I want, I for some reason I just don't like this kind of subtle humor that Spider's been talking about. I
Yeah,
believe mainly it's
yeah,
because I of that other series that I read and I was like, haha, it's probably about animals. It's gonna be
yeah,
funny. Then I'm like, wait a minute, this is actually kind of good. Hold on a second.
yeah.
But
Again,
yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily recommend this type of humor to everybody, but again, if you do like this sort of like slower, sort of like gentler, almost I would say type of humor, then you can check it out. But yeah, that was just my review
it's a
on.
shame it was in the same season.
That was my review for Africa no Salaryman, and with that, you're down to 1. Near, what do you have for us?
Wow. I watched. 俺は好きなのはお前だけかよ.
Yeah, Omae Dake, yeah.
which is also known as OreSuki. Are you
Yeah.
the only one who loves me?
Because
Uh,
because of all
Neer,
the,
don't worry, I love you.
Thanks, bro.
because of all of the like blah blah blah, like she's the only one who loves me, or do you like this? There's so many like abbreviations like for Japanese abbreviations for anime now. That's like something, you know what I mean? These
Yeah.
days, it's like god damn it. But I need to keep going.
But yeah, I believe in the previews I said I wasn't gonna watch this.
Yeah,
But
so I was actually surprised. It's like because the moment you suggested this, I was like,
what made
are
you
we talking
change your
about the same
mind, Neer?
series? Usually
Well,
you wouldn't be caught dead with this sort of
yeah,
series.
usually.
Yeah.
But the thing that made me change my mind is the fact that this is like, I believe this is the second most popular series on Mall that is not a sequel.
What?
Oh,
Yes.
amongst the new stuff.
Of this season or like
Uh,
in general?
This
Yeah.
This season, yeah.
Interesting.
Huh.
It's also like number one
So
on streaming
on Mall,
sites.
on
Oh my
Mall, it
god.
goes there's all the
What?
sequels, right? And then it goes Assassin's Pride,
Oh, that's
and
a
then
good one.
OreSuki. So,
Well, Mao rating aside, like so I guess let's just cover the basic premise. Yeah.
yeah. So OreSuki is a rom-com
Mm-hmm.
school series where the main character is your typical high school, middle school, something. I don't know what he is. Uh, he's your generic,
Yeah.
nice
Who,
guy, right?
who'd you like?
Droopy haired, whatever.
Yeah,
What other rom-com protagonist would you compare this to? The
all
Shimoneta
of them.
guy, the what's the one? What's the
He's
one with?
literally as boring as it gets. He's a man in a black school uniform with black hair,
It's
and
essentially
he's got blue eyes.
personality wise, it's like a slight mixture of Masamune-kun, his revenge, and like
Huh?
Iceman.
Oh yeah, that's the other guy I was thinking of.
Yeah. And he's got, the typical, it starts off with the typical, high school, like childhood friend,
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And then it's like, haha, romance, right? And then it goes on these like 2 dates he goes on, like back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And the one is with a student council president. And she goes, at the very end of the date, she's like, oh, by the way, I'm in love with your best friend. Can you please hook me up with him? And he's like, oh, okay. And then the day after, he goes out with his childhood friend, and she
Yeah.
goes, I'm in love with your best friend. Could you please hook me up with him?
Right.
And he goes, oh, okay. Um, and then, some hijinks happen with that. He's like, he tells both the girls, by the way, I'm helping both of you. And and after this happens, he
It
develops
turns
his,
into a little bit of a harder comedic bent, I think.
yeah. He the main character's, I guess, true personality comes out where he's kind of like maximum incel mode, where like he's like, oh, I hate these girls, they're such bitches, right? Um, but he goes along with it because like his ulterior motive is like if he
Keep
helps
getting with
both of
them.
them,
Yeah.
then whichever one his best friend doesn't go out with, then he'll
Right.
hook up with, right?
Wow.
Honestly,
And then
I do think that it sort of opens out with that where it's I don't know about this whole being an asshole thing, but it's like it's a somewhat logical thing that some people think on occasions like this. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's oh wow he's such an asshole kind of thing. It's like some people kind of think that way. So
yeah, I mean
yeah,
the initial premise is fine, but like the main character's personality is he's pretty like maximum incel.
yeah. Keep going.
And so as it goes on, the other character comes along. I guess the female lead, which is Sumideko Senshokuin, which is the
Yes.
glasses girl, and
Voiced
she
by Tomatsu Haruka.
yeah,
Yes.
and she comes along and she's like, I've been stalking you, and I know exactly what you're doing, um, and like she confesses to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except, the joke is that like as she's confessing to him, he's expecting her to say, "Oh, I'm in love with your best friend," right?
Right,
But
right.
then it's like,
So they're both being assholes. The general sort of theme is that they're both being assholes to each other, and then they'll become closer or whatever.
yeah.
So like Toradora kind of way, or
Yeah, sort of.
In a way, yeah. But
Toradora
it's
is a lot more like, because Taiga is, well, how do you say this? I want to say Ryuji is a little bit more just sort of pretty standard antagonist, and then the other girls are kind of like with him too, right?
wait a minute. Ryuji, Taiga, Tiger and Dragon. Oh my god.
Yes, the title. Thank
You-
you. Anyways, but
What's a
Ryuji,
Dora? Oh, Dora
Dragon?
Doreg. Oh,
Dude, are you for real right now?
I get it. Jesus Christ.
How
Do you,
how old is Toradora?
I don't. I was like Dora. I'm like whatever. You know how nonsensical some Japanese titles are, right?
Mm,
I mean,
All right,
yeah.
you got
Right.
me there, Japan. You win this time.
Anyways,
Tiger and Bunny, Tora, and
but
whatever.
but yeah, these characters are they're a little bit more manipulative.
they're little. The stronger thing is that they're like headbutting, where it's like with Ryuji and like Taiga, it's a little. Ryuji's kind of there, and then Taiga is this sort of like some bullshit like hanging around him, and then later becomes the objective, and then there are the other girls and all this shit, right? So it's like all this random shit flying around Ryuji, but in OreSuki, it's like the MC and the main girl are legit just like butting heads, and that's sort of the point of the series, in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but as I was watching this series, so when we first covered this on the previews,
Yes.
I thought this was going to be like
pretty
it
standard.
goes through the initial premise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where, whatever happens with, the initial girls who are actually in love with the main character's
Right.
best friend,
Right.
and then it sets up the initial coupling of the main character and the glasses girl, and then
Right.
after that it went just standard episodic, comedy
So
stuff, right?
resolutions one by one, blah blah
Yeah. That's not what this is at all.
blah. Okay.
This is this is pretty much a drama series. Like a rom-com, like drama, like just straight up.
What do you mean by
Uh,
that?
so the first 3 episodes, it goes through the whole like, the main character is trying to play matchmaker with these two girls and his
Yeah.
best friend, right? And then it's revealed in the second episode, I believe, that his best friend is in love with the glasses girl.
Right. Yes.
And so he asks the main character if he would him up with the glasses girl, and he says no, because of the fact that he's been hanging out with her, and he doesn't think that that would be a good idea because he doesn't like her very much, and he's like looking out for his best friend. He wants like his best friend's interests at heart. He thinks like she would be a bad idea to like hook her up, right? But
Right,
then,
exactly.
later on, he's like, well, maybe if this is what my friend wants, then maybe I should at least try, right? So he asks uh, the glasses girl, like if he would like give up on him and just go out with his best friend. And she's like, no way. And then his best friend like sees him in the middle of this conversation, and he's like, are you asking her out? And then the glasses girl, like, bails him out, or whatever. And then in the third episode, it's revealed like this whole stuff goes along where the guy's best friend asks the two girls that he's trying to get hooked up with, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the girls would help the best friend get with the glasses girl, right?
So it's like
And
back and forth. It's like all mixed.
yeah, it creates
across.
this big like tangled thing, and they all like converge in this one in the library, right? And all this drama happens, and the two girls like they get all mad at the main character, and they like blame him for all of their problems, and then he freaks out. He has this whole like fuck you guys speech, and then
Mm-hmm.
his best friend punches him in the face.
The boy.
Yeah, he
Okay.
punches the main character in the face, and he's like, how dare you do this to these two girls, and yada yada yada.
Right.
And then uh, after that, the main character's like school life is ruined because all these rumors spread around how he was manipulating these girls and stuff.
Right.
And then there's like a week-long time skip, and then the
This is
glasses
still
girl.
mid-story, right? Is
This
it still
is
mid?
this is episode 3.
Oh, okay.
So glasses girl asks the main character to come back to the library, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she has him like hide behind a bookshelf. And then the main character's best friend comes in, and he's trying to hit on the glasses girl. And then this whole like plot dump goes in where the best friend was actually like manipulating the girls in order to get the main character completely ruined, like his school life ruined, because uh
Because.
like back in like I don't know, middle school or whatever, like earlier on, uh the guy had a crush on some girl,
Mm-hmm.
and then the girl went up to the best friend and was like, hey,
What the
would you
fuck?
hook me up
What
with
the
the main
fuck?
character? And he's like how,
Nice fuck.
like, oh, I was in love with her, and like how dare he, like what does he have that I don't? Like
Oh my
it
god.
was all this drama, right?
Right.
And like episode 3, like this is a comedy, this is supposed to be a comedy series, but
Mm-hmm.
like episode 3 is like all this serious drama, like condensed into this short span.
So what
And
I'm
then
wondering is
it immediately goes on with the comedy afterwards. It's really weird.
so what I'm wondering is that, and this is a pretty important distinction, as I'll hope you understand. Is this just the author just do being slash doing some fucked up shit, or do you think it's some sort of thing where it's like, that Key and Peele skit or whatever that skit is, where it's like where that Key and Peele was in, where it's like the double agent skit, where it's like, oh, it's like, no, you're the double agent. No, I'm. It's like, no, you're the double agent. It's like, I have a drone trained on your spot. It's like, have you seen that video?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, and it's like the guy like pulls off his face and it's like another face or whatever it is. Is
Yeah.
it like, are they trying to do that sort of stuff? Do you think, or is it like, do they actually have some sort of weird like fucked up fetish for this sort of
I mean, I think the drama is serious because, like,
drama?
throughout the entire scene in episode 3, like there was no comedy, right? Like it
It was
was,
so it's kind of like fuck, which one was that? It's what was the supernatural one with the white hair girl named like Hatoko? Uh, Inu Battle, yeah, Inu Battle
yeah,
Nishijoke. It's the one where like that scene where she freaked the fuck out. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of.
Kind of. I mean, it's a little bit less dramatic, but uh, I mean, yeah, it's serious, right? Like it's fully serious. And then immediately afterwards, it's like, oh well, after all this stuff, after like the best friend was exposed, like he apologized to the whole school and this and that, and then like the glasses girl has this whole confession of how like she was actually this super beautiful girl that the main character met earlier, and then it's a full on like romance setup, right? And like episode 3 has very little comedy in it. Um, and like it's all set up for like an actual romance series. So I don't know. I think I feel like maybe it was adapted poorly or something, but like uh the first 2 episodes are pretty much pure comedy, right?
Mhm.
They're like a consistent running gag repeated over and over again, right?
I think it
With
might just.
mild setups for, typical romance stuff. But then
I
in episode 3, it's all condensed into this like single episode of just drama. And it's
I
really charming.
I think what might happen is that the author, and it might partly be the author's fault, or it might significantly be the author's fault, is that what they're doing is like. So what I'm gonna be saying is like a little bit like super predictive based on what we've all watched and read before and stuff like that. But it's like laying out this comedy initial sort of like strain, but later on the comedy strain is going to be a little bit more like kind of like spotty. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be there, but it's sort of used as like a thing where it's like, oh, this anime can be comedy too, like kind of to show more than it is to be a comedy series. You know what I mean? So it'll have that, and then the drama will be to sort of the plot itself will mostly be pretty slow paced and like pretty standard, sort of like the two characters getting together, I feel. But it's going to be pushed forward by these sort of like 0 to 60 moments of like boom, like pure drama. Kind of like um some of those like kind of bits and pieces in like Bunny Girl, I believe, or Albuta, where it's like it's pretty slow and then boom, it just has some shit in it. So I feel like it's that going to be that sort of case where it's like the general plot is there, it's pretty standard. It'll have some just like jabs of like straight up drama where you're just like, what the fuck is going on, like kind of thing. And then somewhere along the line, it'll have like bits and pieces of comedy just to be like, oh, we can be a comedy too. You know what I mean? That's sort of how I feel like it's gonna unfold from what you've told me
Probably.
and from what I'm kind of thinking about this series, because I did watch episode 1 at least. But I mean, what uh, I mean, I think the ending is going to be pretty predictable, so I'm not really going to necessarily talk about it. I don't think you really need to talk about it, right? It's going to be like, did you get together or
I
whatever,
mean,
right?
it's standard. They're
Yeah,
the
yeah.
two
But
characters.
the interesting part,
Yeah.
right? The interesting part is, what do you think that uh, what are sort of your predictions for how this sort of process is going to lay out? Do you think it's going to be a lot more sort of like these bits and pieces of drama as the story goes on, where it's like the protagonist sort of has to deal with the girls and the boy harassing him over and over and over again, and then the glasses girl helps him out? Or do you think those characters are kind of go away, and then it's going to be a much more like retrospective, introspective therapy session between the two?
Um, I mean, considering the fact that the OP has 3 more girls,
Well,
than
I
are
guess those girls could come into, but it's like those new girls coming in doesn't really change what I talked about with the two routes, right? Where it's like one is like sort of the eternal conflict, right? It's like he has to fucking duke it out with the dude who has now been the best friend, who essentially would be labeled as the antagonist in this case, right? And then the other one, which is again more of like a therapy session, right?
I mean, I don't think the best friend's really like an issue anymore because it's like,
Okay.
oh well, after all this stuff was exposed, like he apologized to the whole school and now they're best friends
Okay,
again,
okay.
right?
So
Like
it's
it
much
was
more of like it's much more of a standard sort of like the new girls come in, kind of heal his heart, and then it becomes like a pseudo harem kind of thing, I think.
um I don't know. I feel like it won't be like a I guess in a way it'll be a pseudo harem, but like I don't know what the role that the other girls are gonna play, right? Because
I
like
mean, I just feel like, I mean, again, this could be again a very rough estimate from me being an outside perspective, but it kind of feels like, again, the girls are going to kind of one at a time. It's going to be a very, you know, have you seen Hiseto no Ichizan, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be. You know how it's like the for that the girls were already there, but then later on they were like, oh, each of the girls heals their Kiku, right? But one at a time by doing all these different things, right? It's gonna be that, except it's not an in media res. It's gonna be them legit doing those things in real time. You know what I mean? It's
Um
sort of how I feel.
I think it's going to be more of the girls are introduced and they are going to cause some sort of strife, some sort of issue with the
Between the
main
main girl and
character.
yeah, okay,
And
okay.
then
That's definitely a thing too.
and
Yeah,
then the main girl is going to
yeah.
be manipulative and this weird like smart mastermind thing.
And then they're gonna duke
And
it out. It's Shiraba,
and then
yeah,
some things going to get resolved and
yeah.
then the main character is going to see that he likes the main girl more and more and more, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Despite
yeah.
his
Okay. Yeah, I
protests.
know. That's definitely also a pretty that's a pretty solid route to go on. Pretty
Um,
standard route to go.
I think that's what they're gonna go for. I mean,
Mhm.
that's what basically happened in the first 3 episodes, right? So I
Okay.
feel like that's probably what's going to be repeated with these other
Okay.
girls.
Okay.
Um,
What about the two girls that are that like were fucking with them at the beginning?
Um, I don't know. I feel like the best friend, like the childhood friend, is probably going to become like some weird, like pseudo rival for the main girl. Like she's gonna be
Hmm.
like, oh well, like
You didn't know it as long as I
this
did.
yeah, the sports guy, like didn't really work out with him, so maybe or she's gonna like
Feel sorry.
realize that she actually liked the main character a lot more than she thought she did, and then
Yeah.
some romance stuff is gonna happen between them, and then the main girl is gonna get jealous, and there's gonna be like a rivalry thing between there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like the class president, she's probably gonna just be a side character that's like pops in every once in a while, and then does some gag and leaves, right? Like,
Right.
that's kind of the vibe I got from her from the first few episodes. Like, I
Okay.
don't think she's super important. Um,
That's definitely a very interesting. I mean, the route you're suggesting is pretty consistent. It's like it's something that we've seen, but the way it's like set up and the way the characters are set up is definitely slightly interesting.
yeah,
And it's not necessarily like super character personality dependent. It's not like an Oregairu where it's like pretty much everything depends on the main character being like, oh, I'm so smart, I can resolve all of these things. It's not like that. It's just like
yeah,
how the timeline is, sort of.
yeah. What I mean, it's a pretty interesting series. I definitely see the appeal of it.
Mhm.
What I will say is I don't really. So the main character is set up, um, as he's got two sides to him, right? Um, they really play that up, to the point where they literally put the book Jekyll and Hyde on the screen multiple times throughout the first few episodes. Like he's got the personality he puts on in public, which is like the timid, uh, like uh, just weakling,
Right.
childhood friend, cute classman kind of thing. And then he's got his quote unquote real personality where he's like, oh, like what a pain in the ass, and like why am I doing all this shit when these people don't appreciate me, yada yada yada, right? Um, I don't really like the main character all that much. I feel like the the two coins that they're playing, like neither of them are really all that likable. Um, but the glasses girl, she's pretty solid. She's I mean, she kind of carries the show, I feel, in some spots.
Right.
But I guess the general dynamic between them, it's solid, right? Some of the
Right.
jokes for me fell a little flat. The repeating jokes, I mean, it was a solid joke, right? But I feel like maybe they repeated it one too many times. Uh,
Right. It's like the
except for
thing
the
is,
last one, I think, which was a solid twist on it, right? But
yeah. Also,
um,
it's like for those like antagonistic like things, it's like they constantly need to kind of have dialogues, like snappy dialogue, and the writers probably started sort of,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
But I think it's a solid okay from me, right? Like, to be fair, this isn't usually what I watch. But I think it's okay. There's some stuff I don't like about it. There's some stuff that I do like about it. Um, I'm not. I guess I'm not really super surprised that it's like one of the most popular things this season. Um, Especially because uh, girls like the main girl, yeah, like the glasses girl, they're pretty fucking popular. So yeah, I mean, I think it's solid.
Right. Okay.
Neer,
Yeah,
defend yourself.
about.
Like 5 minutes ago, someone rang my doorbell and it was a pizza man, and he gave me a pineapple pizza. Is this your doing?
No.
What the fuck?
So,
All right.
someone delivered 2 pizzas to me. One is pineapple.
Well,
I had to pay for it, and I'm eating it.
that's a Canadian curse. You're just gonna get pineapple pizzas randomly at your door now. But anyways, Near, thank you for covering OreSuki. I know it was one of the popular things, but I definitely didn't expect you to help cover it. I was pretty surprised, but pleasantly so. But thank you again for helping cover it. And with that, we are going to quickly move on to the news. There was actually a lot of news these past 2 weeks, so I did cut a significant chunk of it out. Unfortunately, there was some pretty interesting stuff here too, so I'm going to kind of limit it to company and sort of Hollywood, Japanese studio integration kind of news, and we're going to move on just like that. But yeah, anyways, moving on quickly with the news. First, Netflix has put the production of its live-action adaptation of Sunrise's Cowboy Bebop anime on hold due to lead actor John Cho injuring his knee on the New Zealand set.
Good job, Kumar.
So they're going to delay it for like 7 to 9 months, or about a good chunk of the year. Very unfortunate. But yeah, hopefully they can get back onto it quickly. Pretty yeah, we'll see how it's going. But
Like,
Cursed protection.
I guess he has a lot of moving around to do, or it's a big injury because I
mean,
heard
it's
some
his
people
knee, so
get a wheelchair.
he's obviously
his knee. I thought it was like his. Okay.
honestly,
yeah,
again,
he fucked up his knee. He's obviously apparently he's going to need like surgery. So
yeah, it's gonna need surgery. The thing is, it's like, again, I understand why they're taking so much action stuff, like Hollywood's taking so much action stuff, but I really wish they wouldn't. I really wish they'd just find some like decent, like some like Madonna Cantabile shit and just adapt that. Like, come on, guys.
I mean,
Come
the
on.
interesting part of the fact that apparently from what I read with the injury is it wasn't even in an action scene.
Oh, really? What's happened?
I don't know. Apparently, it was just some like a standard routine scene where nothing should have gone wrong, and just some freak accident, and he fucked up his knee.
That's
Like-
actually really scary, though. To be
Yeah,
honest.
like actual fucking cursed production going.
Yeah.
On.
Like, all right.
Dude, sometimes, you just like torque some shit the wrong way.
Yeah. Very,
Bad.
very
I
unfortunate.
was standing up the other day and I twisted my hip fucking horribly.
Yeah,
Just
sometimes you just
standing up from a seated position.
sometimes you just get in front of the camera, you say I'm Spike Spiegel, and your legs explode.
Yeah. But anyways, very unfortunate. Hopefully they can get it back on track quickly. Next piece of news. Video game news website IGN posted a video excerpt on Friday of an interview with director Taika Waititi. How do you fucking
YTT.
That's correct.
Waititi? Waititi, regarding the indefinitely delayed live-action Akira film. In the above video, YTT explained that the filming schedule for Akira kept getting pushed back due to the staff, quote-unquote, working really hard on the script, until production began to overlap with YTT directing Marvel's Thor 4 film.
Yeah, that's how I was wondering.
Now we've had to take Akira and shift it around to the tail end of Thor and move it down a couple of years. Oh my god.
Couple of years. Holy shit.
Oh my god. YTT ended the discussion by stating, "We're still gonna make it." Yeah, sure, okay.
Well, it's Marvel
I
money
hope
versus what? Japan money?
Dude, he's already doing that live action JoJo adaptation,
Yeah.
Which one? What part?
Hmm?
They already did a part. They did a part
Yeah, they
4
already
live
did
action.
Part 4.
What part?
No, it was a meme because he's got that new fucking movie coming out, Jojo Rabbit or whatever the fuck it's called.
Wow.
It's like the Hitler's Youth spoof.
But
What?
there are also
Yeah.
there are also the thing. But the YTT was also in talks to kind of recruit the lead roles from like Japanese actors, but then there were apparently more creative disagreements over the project over that. So,
Wasn't Zac Efron supposed to be the titular Akira? Or is that the Bleach movie?
that might be something
I
else.
don't know, dude.
I think it was both, I think, to be honest. Pretty sure it was Akira at one point.
Yeah.
Then
And then Zac Efron wasn't.
Zac Efron realized, oh, I don't want to be attached to this.
Anyways,
And it
next,
wasn't attached to anything.
yeah.
What was the last thing he did? All I remember is him from High School Musical.
Wasn't he in
He was in
Ted Bundy stuff?
Yeah, he did the Ted Bundy movie.
Oh.
Fucking
Really?
Ted Bundy. Yeah.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, anyways, next.
And before that, I think was a Seth Rogen.
Next, so Animation Studio Fanworks announced on Wednesday that it's collaborating with ADK Emotions, a Chinese company.
Tencent.
Kwan.
Who?
Kwan on a short Chinese company. Kwan. Yeah, on a short anime titled Haretsu Tantankun, Breakout Mr. Egg. The anime will streaming on October 21st on 10 video apps, including Douyin, the Chinese version of TikTok.
What?
The anime will have 24 episodes, and each are around 15 episodes a minute long, and they will be uploaded twice a week. The anime will be framed vertically for our smartphones for review.
Oh,
The
Jesus
project marks the
Christ.
first time a Japanese company will distribute an anime in this way for China's video app market.
Is
Wait,
Pray to
TikTok
God
really
it's
that
the
popular?
last time.
Yeah.
Fucking TikTok. I hope there's like a
TikTok anime.
no, like a 5-year-old gremlin with a gourd-shaped
I
head.
hope they do
fucking
Kimetsu
side
no
by side
Yaiba
with it.
spin-off, but it's like Chinese TikTok only.
Yeah.
So that means we'll never see it over here. China
TikTok
checks
with
their
your
anime.
favorite anime characters.
Next, Bandai Namco Holdings announced on Wednesday that it has begun a tender offer on Thursday to acquire all of Gundam's sponsor Sotsu Company Limited's common stock. Bandai Namco aims to make Sotsu a wholly owned subsidiary and consolidate all the Gundam franchise licenses within. So right now,
they're gonna take over Sunrise. Is that
um,
because Sunrise is all Gundam stuff, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, Sunrise animates all Gundam stuff, I believe.
Yeah, they have the rights. I don't know if they have the specific share in the company, or whether they're just paying for the license or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, Bandai Namco currently owns around 23% of Sotsu's shares, so now they're just trying to wholly own it. So it'll be pretty interesting to see where that goes from there.
Fuck Bandai Namco.
Do they even have the power to take over Sunrise?
Again, I think
Bandai Namco
Sunrise
is pretty fucking big.
But what do they have? Pac-Man and Smash? What else have they done?
Like
lot.
99% of Japanese video games.
Aren't they
Fucking
just the
point.
publisher, actually?
Oh well, yeah, but
Yeah, that's a
they
lot of
it's
fucking
very
money,
important. It's honestly more important than the developer at this fucking point, money-wise and ownership-wise.
dude. Yeah.
So the next, Cool Japan Fund, the public-private fund company that the Japanese government employs to fund projects as part of its Cool Japan program, revealed on Wednesday that it invested about $50 million to Indonesian courier and ride-hailing service Gojek.
Why?
The Cool Japan Fund will use the investment to add Japanese content to Gojek's video and music streaming service, as well as promote Japanese cuisine.
You needed $50 million to do that.
The investment is the largest so far that the Cool Japan Fund has made in Southeast.
Is Cool Japan even relevant nowadays?
Very cool.
No, it was
Very
never
cool.
relevant. Remember how we talked? It appeared in previous news, but I'll repeat this again. Nikkei reported in November 2017 that Cool Japan Fund Incorporated was underperforming many of its investments, particularly projects that were spurred by business ties from the company's leadership, including previous CEO Nobuyuki Ota and Chairman Kazunori Ichiban. So there's a lot of obviously corruption going around, and probably just old people being stupid. So not great. Honestly, again, like imagine if Cool Japan Fund was like $50 million to like, I don't know, just like open up some sort of like really like bust up some sort of like bottleneck between Western localization services and sort of like promotion services and what studios are doing. You know what I mean? Like Japan, just like help the studios promote stuff, so it's opens up bottleneck, opens up funding opportunities. But
Yeah, but Cool Japan now would do like $50 million to make like Crunchyroll get
Japanese
like 2 more banner ads.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Anyway,
I mean, also it's like set up a fucking official like,
who's the
quote unquote
fucking-
proxy. You know what I mean? Like instead
Yeah.
of having fucking like half-ass proxy services in the West, like actually have a decent outlet for
fucking kill
merch
me.
that gets promoted directly.
Next.
Imagine
Credit
making
report.
money.
Yeah, imagine actually doing something helpful for the end. industry or like doing something helpful for Japanese culture.
It's fucking stupid, bro. Shut up.
Next, credit reporting agency Tokyo Shoko Research (TSR) reported on Thursday that White Rose, operating company of game developer Fang, began bankruptcy proceedings through Chiba District Court on September 30th. So blah blah. The game developer produced many Bishoujo games or visual novels under its Fang label. For instance, Akane Iro Nisomarasaka, or I believe Sunday Matter Red or something like that. A Bridge to the Starry Skies or Hoshisora Kakaru Kashi, stuff like that. So a lot of older, 2000s visual novels
Yeah.
that are pretty well known. Very unfortunate. It is what it is, and a lot of other visual novel studios are going through similar stuff too. Next, last bit of company news here is animation production and management company Egg Firm and anime studio White Fox have announced that they have invested in a new anime studio called Studio Bind. The new studio will produce the television anime of author Rifujin Magunote and illustrator Shirotaka's Mushoku Tensei, Japanese reincarnation light novel series that will premiere in 2020. Toshio Otomo.
Yeah, okay, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, Toshio Otomo, who has worked with production advancement on such anime as Kurogane no Line Barrel, Durarara, Bodacious Spirits, Pirates, and Aquarium Evil, is the studio's representative director. The studio is based in Tokyo's Suginami Ward. So yeah, pretty interesting. Egg Firm, we knew about this before with I believe this was from what was it? Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So Egg Firm is like the company that was made between I believe like Akiyuki Shimbo and Reki Kawahara and like some other people, Kazuma Miki or something like that, right? Like the powerhouses, and then they just made their own fucking company because they could. And then
Sao meets what is it? Akikishu?
Sao meets Dengeki Bunko meets Shaft, essentially.
Yeah.
But they're now working with Shaft again to create a new anime studio that'll do their shit, I guess. So kind of very long-winded, but I'm assuming that Egg Firm is working with White Fox to kind of get a running start, kind of hit the ground running in terms of like staffing and like having to get like proper assets. You know what I mean?
Man,
It's my guess, but
what the fuck has Shaft been doing? I just realized.
Shaft is milking their licensing shit. Remember, it's like how production IG, their only profiting department was the licensing department, right? The only part that wasn't in the red. It's probably that shit all over again. They've been running
but like
fucking Monica festivals and Monogatari festivals for like years now.
Shaft hasn't put out a series in like a year.
Series, right? It's just that it's just not good. Didn't they do that? What's happening here?
The last thing they put out was
Fate
Was it
Extra
really
Last
Fate
Encore,
Extra?
apparently.
What?
No, it was the Owari Monogatari movie. That was the last thing they put out. That was last year.
Huh.
Are they just getting butt fucked by Owari Monogatari? I think that might have been it, cause it. Well, no, cause Magireko is coming out in 2020 apparently, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they're
So-
biding their time.
Fighting for
For
I think
for
honestly,
this Madoka stuff.
yeah, I think well, sort of. I think what the specific thing is they are and already have put a lot of eggs into the Monica and Monogatari baskets, specifically the movie stuff, right? So they've pretty much been all in it because they don't really have big ideas, right? Like Fate Extra Encore maybe made some money. Nisekoi ended, right? March comes in like a lion. Obviously, isn't going to like magically get 3 million seasons, right? Other than that, what do they have? Literally, it is just like Monogatari and like Monica movies that have been holding, right? So I think they're going to write it until they die, or until something happens. But it is a very dangerous game they're playing. I think it is a dangerous game.
Yeah.
And Akiyuki Shimbo again, just like fucking fuck. Why do I Onuma Shin? Excuse me. Why did I blank out on his name? Onuma Shin, right? Like how Onuma Shin kind of jumped ship to a place like Silverlink, right? And Satellite. Like, you think Akiki Shimbo is gonna sync with the Shaft ship? Like, fuck no. Like,
Dude, he is Shaft.
he is Shaft. Yeah. If they close down Shaft, Akiki Shimbo just closes. But yeah, Aki Kishimbo is just gonna jump ship whenever. He already has his own like fucking company with the guy, the editor of Destiny over at Dengeki Bunko, right?
Yeah.
And fucking Reki Kawahara, right? He doesn't need shit. Like, he is on top of the anime world right now. So Shaft again, playing a very dangerous game. I think. Very dangerous game. But yeah, that's sort of what's going on over there.
Back in actual news,
Yeah.
the last bastion of isekai is finally getting its anime after what, 7 years?
No.
Spire, you don't know what Mushoku Tensei is?
Oh, Mushoku Ten. Are you talking about Mushoku Tensei?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Sao era of isekai. It's the last big one
It's the last big one.
of the big three.
Last big one.
Well, what? We got Shield Hero. That's one of the big ones. Then we got Slime Tensei. Slime Tensei. That's one of it. And now the last one,
Alright, can we...
Mushoku Tensei.
I
I'm
don't
looking
know about
forward to that one.
big three of these.
You literally just pick 3 random series.
random popular.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Slime
Mushoku Tensei, I do believe, is very popular.
Slime Tensei was what, 2013? Shield Hero was what, also within that time frame?
Well,
I believe.
I don't know about the specifics, but again,
Yeah, 2012. This is 2012, 2013 isekais. Before, slightly after
There's not a
Sao,
lot
and
of-
before the big boom of, we'll put out 5 isekais every year.
Well, I mean, again, the way the anime production people kind of put out isekai and how the web novel stuff, light novel stuff have grown are kind of on different timelines. But either way,
I still
again,
don't know why this took 7 years to make. And then
well, Mushoku Tensei is developed and less like smooth brained. I want to say that's the series. Either way, moving on. Going on to non-company news for a bit. Police arrested a 44-year-old male resident of Ayagawa, Kagawa on October 9th for allegedly modifying his PlayStation 3 console and then selling them. The police alleged that the suspect, a part-time worker named Tadaaki Abe, violated the Trademark Act, the Unfair Competition Prevention Act, and other laws. Okay. The modifications supposedly allow users to copy games on consoles so they can play without having to insert the original discs again. Blah blah. Allegedly selling the modified consoles for about $140 per unit via an online auction site. So yeah.
Who the fuck is buying PS3s for $140 in 2019?
Just so you don't have
Are-
to play PS3 games, not buy them.
Are they like the original
Just
backwards compatible ones?
Fucking dude, just like emulate. A lot of games work now.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. But anyways, next, this is a little bit more serious. Police arrested a 35-year-old unemployed man in Okayama after he allegedly posted threats to anime studio Kara on Twitter and other social media services. According to police, the man admitted to the charges of threatening and interfering with work duties, and he said he quote-unquote did it knowing that the other party, or Kara in this case, was scared. The suspect allegedly posted threats to Kara between July 7th and July 18th. The man's posts included death threats and references to the deadly fire at Kyoto Animation's first studio building on July 18th. I think we covered this. We might have covered this, but I think it's an extended.
We definitely did, unless this is the second one.
Yeah. And very unfortunate timing. Obviously, for a while, people are going to use this sort of like threats and use the unfortunate incident that did happen with Kyoto Animation.
Yeah, the other one we covered was Square Enix.
Oh, it was
Oh
Square Enix,
yeah,
right.
that was.
But this sort of shit is going to happen quite a while. But yeah, very unfortunate. Next, just a couple people news before we move on. first, John Kirby, who was actually apparently the namesake of Nintendo's Kirby character, passed away at the age of 79. He was actually an attorney, and he passed away due to a myelodysplastic syndrome on October 2nd. Unfortunately, very please wish his family and friends condolences. And the other one is that voice actress Minako Kotobuki revealed on our official blog on Wednesday that she will study abroad in the United Kingdom for 1 year beginning in spring 2020. Kotobuki plans to continue work while in the UK to the extent that she is able. So she, this is a pretty standard thing, people traveling to the UK or US college for like a year.
Just gonna Discord her in, dude.
But yeah, Kotobuki noted that she had joined blah. But yeah, a lot of people, especially the younger people, kind of do study abroad stuff. Kotobuki's anime roles include PK Euphoniums, Asuka Tanaka, Tiger and Bunnies, Karina Lyle, Fairy Gone Sweetie, Berserk Recruit, Aikatsu's Mizuki Kanzaki, The Lumen to You, or Yagate Kimi ni Naru, I believe, Toko Nanami, and a certain scientific railguns, Mitsuko Kongo. So again, oh yeah, she's also part of a sphere, right?
Wait,
Pretty
Railgun's
famous.
who?
Mitsuko Kongo, the fangirl. The
Oh,
one,
yeah,
one
the
with fan.
Ojo-sama.
Yeah, the Ojo-sama. But yeah, please wish her the best of luck, and I guess seeing the world, exploring career stuff, so on and so forth. Learning English. But yeah, that's it for the news these past 2 weeks. And without further ado, we're going to move on to our last section, the shoutouts and callouts. So everybody here gets one shout out, one call out. A shout out is something that you want to talk about just with all forms of glee, just praise to the heavens, thumbs up, and it can be any one person, place, or thing. And a call out is, of course, the exact opposite, something that you would glare at in the subway station as it passes by you, something that you would not hesitate to step on if you had the chance. And it can be any one person, place, or thing. And we are starting with Dark.
Damn. I got a spicy one too. So my shout out is gonna be, fuck it, I'll shout out Grand Blue. I've been having some like decent fun playing it. It's more like an addiction fun, but I mean it's fun at the same time. So, it's been pretty cool. Actually like starting to build up shit in it and just slowly making my way there. Using Twitter to get people to actually join my raids now has been really helpful. So, yeah,
Okay. And your call out?
pretty sweet. My call out is gonna be over the Blizzard Hong Kong shit. Maybe not for the reason you're thinking. I'm calling out primarily, I guess, like YouTube channels involved in this because there have been so many YouTube channels that I've seen and I've followed in the past that were like always these like anti-politics in my games media. One of them even promoting their own website the same day and days before of saying, we give you we're giving you like reviews and everything, like we're giving it to you straight, no politics involved, nothing like that. And then you go and you release a video of like, well, this is about human rights, like pretty basic human right in games. And it's like, well, Blizzard banning a player for making a statement that jeopardizes their business in a country when they ask them not to do that on their official streams and
Okay.
only their official streams. Like it's not like this was made. I would agree with everything if it was made on like his private stream or his personal stream and they banned him. Like that'd be obviously fucked up.
Right.
But But I think this is a good standard to have. I don't think taking the winnings was good. I think what they have now of a 6-month ban is
I
fine.
think the best idea was like regardless of like which side they had to fall on, make the consequences, make the fallout as quiet as possible. You know what I mean? Make it so that
Yeah,
like
well,
as many people will be like, oh, that's very conservative way to do things, right? Like
yeah. I
boom,
mean,
and then just go
the
on.
ultimate thing was just like I think their biggest mistake was taking the winnings. I think a ban,
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
temp ban,
because it
is
was
whatever.
too like dramatic, more than drastic. It was dramatic, and that was what fucked.
Yeah, and also it was too late on there. Like Blizzard obviously is. I think the worst thing that they did was they waited fucking 5 days to make a statement for
Oh,
one,
for sure, yeah.
I
because
think
that
the
just
worst
let
thing they
everything.
did was make a statement. That statement was fucking awful.
Yeah, I mean the statement alone was bad too, and it was also it took them also too long to react to, or not to react, but to
Like everything they
ban
did was
college team as well
yeah, everything
that
they
did the
did just
same shit
ramped up the
because
drama, which was just
yeah, it was one of those things where they were completely indecisive towards the end of like,
yeah.
do we take action? Do we make a statement? And then it's like, well, then they finally decide to make a statement. And it's like, well, that was pretty shit. And then they're like, well, now we also have to ban this other college team because we can't not do that.
Right.
But obviously, what the problem with that whole thing is that it's like, as a company, the reason why they didn't ban them immediately was that you don't want like now you're sitting there like, well, we have all this blast back and we want to set the standard, but we can't just start banning like, 10 teams per fucking tournament that are just going to do this shit anyway.
Right.
Because, whether they have realistically no chance of winning or whatever, it's like that kind of just turns into a snowball effect. I think the major thing though, like I said, the thing that like really pissed me off was just seeing these like YouTube channels that were always like this and then they flip it around and say, "Well, actually this is about human rights." And it's like, "Well, that's literally all politics is arguing, what constitutes as a basic human right that should be provided." Now, I agree with the protests in Hong Kong. However, you can't say like that's not politics.
Well, I think the again
And then and
there were two sides to this, or two factors to this. Again, one is a PR thing where it was like they need to be as quiet as possible, and then the other thing was it was Blizzard kind of not realizing that they were being seen as hypocritical before it's too late, right? Because again, before they had pushed this whole like moral edge, and then they were trying to like backpedal on this, right? Trying to pick on a certain side, and then that's where they sort of fucked up, right? Instead of trying to explain stuff, they were just like, yeah, we kind of something, and then that was just already it was gone by then, right? So it
yeah,
was it was just very messy.
I just think in general a lot of people are making a lot of arguments in like pretty bad faith because, I've seen I'm not gonna name channels, obviously, but I've seen a lot of bigger channels that I had followed for a while start pushing this idea, and I'm like, but like weeks ago, you shit on Kotaku for having like politics in a review or like politics in an article or
Yeah,
just
that's
in
also
general about having like politics on their website. It's like, but this ultimately becomes politics and opens up the door for even more statements
yeah.
to be made because if you want to say like you support Hong Kong and that's what you would consider basic human rights, you can't then complain if someone makes a statement about abortion in the West or anything like that on stage. 'Cause it just becomes the same thing of, who considers what a basic human right. And
I again
I would
I
rather not see that on an official live stream.
I do think that
So,
Blizzard, in a sense, kind of messed with that idea a slight bit from the usual, because Blizzard themselves have been using this sort of like, oh, we're a moral company to kind of get that sort of usual edge. You know how it's like what Apple has done recently with Tim Cook, right? Where it's like they've been like, we'll make moral stands on like certain policy decisions, and that'll sort of like get our brand name up in a sense, right? So they've been kind of selling that sort of shit for a bit, but other than that, I do agree that
I don't know. I think
people
the
have
only
to be
thing
a
that
little more
Blizzard
careful.
has particularly really done in the past has just been like during Pride. Yeah, like the Pride flags in San
Honestly, you know
Francisco
what?
on Pride Day, though.
You know what? Fuck people that are like, yes, company displaying pride flag. They have my interest at heart. Fucking fuck you. You're
It's also the
fucking
most. It's also the
stupid, man.
most obvious like thing ever. It's
You're
like,
with
well,
plus one
no,
on the
like
clock.
I've seen people point that out as like a political statement too, and it's like, no, like they had Pride Day shit, and they were selling Pride Day merch on Pride Day in San Francisco when they were streaming from San Francisco. Like, there's a very obvious reason why they're doing, it, and it's
Right.
not to have a political stance there.
Yeah. Uh,
It's also a
the
lot more detached from politics in that sense, where it's a little bit more roundabout of, having a pride flag during Pride Day, which is
I do
recognized in
think
the
that
West, but it's a little bit more so than a little bit less direct than, making a reference to an ongoing protest that's happening, you know?
yeah.
So,
I do agree that I mean well yeah well I do think that there can be more leadership. It's just that Activision Blizzard don't have it, so it's mood either way.
no,
So
especially not like the Activision side of it to begin with.
yeah.
Like, morality is not their
Yeah.
strong
Not
suit.
a structure, yeah. But anyway, uh, thank you, Dark, for helping cover your
So
shoutouts and
who's
call
ready for BlizzCon?
That's what everybody's saying.
Definitely not the people who are gonna protest. That's just gonna end up like fucking Area 51, dude. There's gonna be
Yeah,
no one showing up there.
yeah. Anyways,
I'm ready for the Q&A at BlizzCon.
are you ready for these shoutouts and callouts though, to us? Because you're going next.
Nice. My shout out. Uh,
Yeah?
I don't know. Uh, this this Oh yeah, shout out to Mikasa. I got 3 of you. Nice. Now I don't need any more. Call out is to Hiei. 2.5% drop rate. Where you at? I'm waiting.
Okay.
Then I can stop and get ready for the shark boat. That's
Okay.
it.
I guess I'll go next here. But my shout out is to uh oh should I don't even know whether I should shout out or call this out because it's like I guess if I shout out I'll look like I'm being retarded, but it's like I guess okay, so I'll make it a call out. So I'm calling no, well let's call it. Okay, I'll shout it out. So shout out to me finally getting off this like fucking gotcha game shit that I've had trouble sort of controlling for a long time. So obviously it got worse and it's had its ups and downs and I kept coming back to shit like Didastet, but finally got rid of Didastet too. I just became super tired of like I'm just like grinding all this shit and it's like I'm just grinding the same stuff over and over and over again in a rhythm game that's not even that like much fun just to like get fucked by this meta that's like rapidly changing. So I finally got off of it. I'm glad I did. Definitely feel a lot like sort of productive with my general schedule now, and not just like every like 3 hours being like, oh sure, I have to do stuff. But that's my shout out. My call out. My call out. Okay, this might sound a little bit racist, but I'm fucking calling out C people. C people are really weird. I don't know what else to say, but C people always like never act in like the way that I expect a normal human being to act in terms of
What
like
people?
SCA.
SEA,
Oh,
Southeast Asian.
Southeast
SEA
Asian,
people.
yeah, Southeastern Asian
Okay.
stuff like Philippines and stuff like that. But I never
Hey, that's
expect.
me. What do you want?
So as I said, I never tells you're fine, but a lot of them I don't like. I don't know. They just get like they just are blasé about shit that should obviously be like fucked up, or like they get fucked up about stuff that should obviously like it's just like pretty casual speak, and it's like I don't know what the fuck's going on. So call outs to see people fucked up.
Yeah.
This is in reference to the absolutely fucking terrible commentary at SCA majors.
That could also be a part of it, but it's also just general me talking with various C people.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Why does C get their own
Is that-
region for MMOs?
That commentary was absolutely dog shit. I hated watching that Guilty Gear tournament. Like, the commentary was so bad.
Yeah, SCA slash C like people like they're very enthusiastic about the games over there, but I want to say commentating analysis is not their strong suit too.
Yeah, like you can't just like come into like Guilty Gear pools commentary and then some guy loses and then be like, wow, this guy has no idea how to play the game. Like, how fucking rude do you have to be to like say that when the players are playing right fucking beside you? Like, I don't know.
Who did they have on commentary?
Just fucking nobodies. Like actual nobodies.
Well, that's
Uh,
probably shouldn't do that for a while.
Cecian brought up a good point. Why does C get all the English translations that us
Because-
Americans don't? Right,
because
Dark?
you can machine translate the Japanese, and that's fine. That's good.
I mean,
numbers.
It's good enough for SCA people.
I mean, I'll take it rather
Well,
than
because
nothing at all.
in SCA you get that just because it's like the amount of languages, right? And then
Yeah.
like English just being a crossover between all of them is easier.
Remember when PSO2 C was a thing and Force was
Yeah, and then
renamed
it went away, like-
Magician
Awful.
and Braver was Samurai or something? That's fun.
Anyways,
I
that's
mean, to
my
be fair, Braver is samurai, but
Yeah, but what samurai uses a bow? That's obviously an archer.
Samurais
literally
use
any
bows.
samurai in every single fucking like JRPG.
Then why does Archer Inferno have a bow and is not a saber class like Suzuka Gozen?
Okay, yeah, but like
The
play
fuck are you
any MMO RPG or RPG with a samurai in it, and guess what? One of the weapons is a bow.
Do you use bows in Dark Souls and my God,
I mean, they're
Yeah.
both dex builds.
what's the one with the one armed
Neo?
wolf? Yeah, no, the one armed wolf
Sekiro?
guy. Yeah,
Sekiro?
is he a samurai? Does he use a bow?
No, not a
He's
samurai.
more
He's
of
a ninja.
What's the difference? They both use swords.
There's a big.
But yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
They're
that's
both
pretty much
Asian.
Those people, you know.
those people. But that was my shout out and call out. And last but definitely not least, Neer.
Wow. I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna shout out the Beastars OP.
Oh, that's a really good opening.
Oh, okay.
It's really good.
It's really good. You know, I say it a lot. But you know, one of the things I really like, one of the things I really value when I'm watching anime is just being unique, right? Just being very interesting, being visually unique, and you know, Beastars having an OP that is stop motion animation is like how many shows do that? Like not many.
You're setting yourself out from the crowd, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it shows that what studio is doing Beastars again? Orange.
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 It shows to me that like Orange is really setting out to be like visually distinct from all the other studios, right? They're obviously a studio that's trying to push the limits of CG animation, and now they have a fucking stop motion animation OP for a CG show. Like that to me just says like that they care about like what they're putting on the screen, right?
Mhm.
and it's a fucking nice OP. Yeah, it's really nice. I think my call out is probably going to be to me for even like attempting to get to Grandmaster in Shadowverse.
Yeah,
It's not a good idea.
you should have talked to me first before you. 'Cause
Yeah.
I just gave up on. Like again, really, like yeah, there's the fancy like the card sleeves, right? Or
Yeah,
the
the
sleeves
animated
and
sleeves and
shit like
you get
that.
the
Yeah,
title and the but
yeah.
it's
Free packs
fucking
or whatever.
it's
Like,
so
not worth
stressful,
it.
man. It's
It's not worth
so
it.
stressful.
Yeah,
And
It's
then like
not like the people that like get up to GM are like any like really better than like the people that are already in masters and just partying, right?
yeah.
So it's like pretty much all of it's just grind. You're not like learning something so much more.
Yeah, like you're literally just playing the game more, and it's like you're constantly going up against these matchups where it's like I'm gonna fucking lose. Like you like turn 3, you're like I'm gonna lose, but like I
That's what
can't
happens with the grind.
I can't just quit because I might get some god draw that just completely
Yeah.
shifts the momentum. So you're forced to play out this match that goes to like turn 7, turn 8. When you're just like, I'm losing, and then it's like I'm dead,
Very
and
fortunately.
it's really draining. But it's like
Yeah.
I'm halfway there. I might as well just keep going. But it's like it's so stressful. Sucks.
Very
but-
fortunate.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Don't-
I'm praying for you to get there quickly.
Don't worry, Neer. Even if you hate myself, yourself, I still like you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Anyways, so that was your shout out and call out.
Yeah.
And with that, we are finally done with the podcast for today. Took a little bit of a while, and we had a decent amount of stuff to share. But again, we are pretty much in the thick of it right now. Pretty much most anime right now are in their episodes 2s and 3s. So by next episode we should really start covering.
Except
really
for
gonna start-
Psychopath season 3.
come next episode we're really going to be starting to cover the series that have a little bit more of the involved plots, some of the other bigger names, stuff like that. Just definitely watch out for those episodes.
What
Yeah, like
day?
My Hero Academia season 4.
Yeah.
What day?
What day is the next
Yeah.
podcast?
Oh, what
That
day?
would be November 3rd.
Okay,
November.
so don't worry.
No, not November
November
3rd.
2nd.
November 2nd.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, because the Konosuba movie's on the 12th, and I gotta watch that.
Well, that's not the second, so
Yeah, don't worry.
Also, that's not a Saturday.
Don't worry. I'll cover One Piece Stampede.
Okay. So, anyways, but so again, watch out for that. We're going to be able to just cover some of the sort of involved series, and yeah. So with that, we are done with our episode for today. If you like what we do this every other Saturday, starting from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Over at twitch.tv/4PlayAnimecast. That's the number 4. We talk about the latest and greatest in Japanese animation media, including anime, manga, light novels, visual novels, web novels, and so much more. So you can follow us here. We have our VODs uploaded here with our podcast/live recordings. We also have it on YouTube for those of you who watch that instead. And we have our social media, of course, Facebook and Twitter. Facebook 4PlayerAnimecast, Twitter handle at 4PPAnimecast. Again, all with a numeral 4. So you can follow us on here are updates. You can follow us here on our Twitch page/YouTube pages as well. And yeah, we'll see you next time.